Hey everyone, how's it going here? It's your boy Miki, and today we are back for the finals of ICL, and this is day number 1. Everyone get hype. Yeah, that's all. I want to see everyone getting hype in the chat and supporting all of our players. Yes, sir. How is everyone doing today?
Um, I'm doing great. How about you, Miki?
I'm doing fantastic. All of I saw Venom yesterday.
Oh, heck yeah. Sorry to interrupt your Venom, but just because we're a little bit behind, I'm gonna get us going on the band order.
This is going to be an amazing match. We see WLR with phenomenal performance, beating teams that we did not quite expect them to defeat. And I'm just super hyped for this because I'm not even doing anything else right now. I full undivided attention on ICL right now because I am super excited. I'm quite surprised that we are not seeing a priestess. With a mercenary and seer band, priestess is 100% an option. And having that ability to travel across the map effortlessly is pretty helpful. But it looks like who's surviving first, Legacy or WOR? Thank you, Olive. So it looks like Legacy is going for a strong Cypher rush here, also with insurance type rescues. And on round ones, you definitely do need high. They're increasing their chances of a tie, if you didn't notice, Olive. But yeah, they're increasing their chances of a tie. And I think this is a really good strategy, honestly, because if you don't, as long as you do not get 4-man at the beginning, it's pretty much any point counts towards your survivor to make things for your hunter easier in the future on the survivor side. As for hunter, they're going to go for their best picks and try to get as many survivors out as they can because it's all about early game starts. When you get a strong lead at the start, the easier chance you have of possibly winning the entire set.
Especially in a round such as like the first round, where the whole point is, especially since it's the first half of the first round, they don't know what they will be needing to get in order to win the round. The whole point is just setting themselves up for that strong tie.
We're probably gonna see like Sculptor. Or,
it does seem like we will be seeing a breaking wheel. The hunter does seem to be Fafa. Yeah.
Breaking wheel round 1, I think, is perfectly fine. What do you think, Olive? I honestly think that breaking wheel has so much coverage.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. First round wheel, very good, especially on a map such as Eversleeping. With because of the way that it's built, you can actually get around quite easily, especially using like just the tracks the train does as well. Just very useful overall.
If you notice, having double decoders is going to be that Legacy will rely on their strong neutral kiting, naked kiting, raw kiting, whatever you say, with this team, because the only ones that are hard to chase here are Forward and Gravekeeper. The rest, Prisoner and Mech, are going to rely on neutral kiting, and that's going to be huge. So it looks like Legacy has great confidence in their kiting abilities.
Yeah, no. In a situation like this, the best possible find first would probably be the mech for Legacy, because if the mech does get found first, not opting to go for that shove right away, but yeah, no.
Gravekeeper. Finding a Gravekeeper is kind of unideal for Fafa right now because he does counter Breaking Wheel, but it looks like Gravekeeper's not even going to use his items. He can here though, because oh no! He should have used it right there. That is an early down for Fafa right here. WR, the amazing start of this match. Here comes Green coming in. Going to miss the stun and gonna take a hit. This is not looking very good for Legacy right now. Cypher's barely getting underway.
Yeah, no, definitely. Honestly, in my opinion, the best decision for that Gravekeeper was, even like as Fafa found him, to just simply go for that shovel just right away, just to avoid any spikes and things like that, because Gravekeeper does counter wheel in that manner, and it's a very interesting decision to opt not to go for that. Oh, very nice trap dodge from the Gravekeeper,
Very
however.
nice dodge by I think Alex. That is. Yeah,
Ooh.
Alex. Oh, that fast power breaking paying off for Fafa. You can see that right there.
We do see
And
that Gravekeeper
unfortunately,
attempt to go for a shovel, but just barely miss it.
that's what the fast pallet breaking was for. Wow, he didn't have to use blink. He just broke the pallet and hit him. That's incredible. Good use of trait right there. And also, here's the thing, Olive. I was thinking as the breaking wheel was transforming, that was plenty of time for Alex to get his shovel off. And no snap being in play, can't get him out of it. Has to hit the shovel and the spikes, buying a lot more time for the survivors right there. It definitely would have been a better play.
Yeah, no, definitely, it would have been the best situation for the survivors, but unfortunately for Fafa, that did not end up happening. So Fafa's putting themselves in a very good situation. It's really now finding that prisoner and getting that Gravekeeper not be able to get rescued. Ooh,
There's
another
the
early
blink going off. He never really needed to use blink right there, so you can see saving it up actually worked for his second kite favor. Because now what the survivors needed to rely on was their second kite, but with blink in play, it made it near pretty much impossible to do a second kite. And now all Fafa needs to do is go for some slugging and just snowball his way to victory.
Yeah, especially in this situation, they're kind of forced to deal. Going for a 4-man, if they not a 4-man, a 1-man, even in this situation, they need to pop one more cipher still, which they only have. The furthest cipher they have is around 70, but especially with this forward kiting on that cipher and not being able to go for that rescue, this is a very good situation for Fafa.
Fafa's looking like he has his 4-man in the bag, but you can never count out Team Legacy.
No, always gotta make sure that you don't underestimate the team. It does seem like they have gotten that one more cipher popped up, means they do have that dungeon open as an option. It just depends on whether or not they'll be able to kite out long enough for Fafa to for that dungeon to be open.
I'm honestly quite surprised. Like I said, I'm still baffled by it a bit that the Gravekeeper didn't opt to shovel during the transformation animation, because they made it slower for a reason. They nerfed breaking wheel, they made that animation slower for a reason, and that is so you can get items off in time to react to breaking wheel transformation. You can punish him for transforming.
The one at Eversleeping was mostly because of the fact that he had been trapped. The breaking wheel had thrown a trap in the pallet, and by dropping it, it forced it towards the Gravekeeper, which means he was still in that animation, in that trap animation as he got out. So.
Yeah, but before that, like I said, I meant like when he's like transforming initially to tripod. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, this is awkward.
Yeah, getting trapped in that basement, even though it most likely will be a slug rather than a chair. Getting that basement means that the second that forward gets up, they have to first get it out of the basement, which means that the hunter has a longer time to know where that survivor is. So, yeah.
Absolutely. This has already looked like a strong format for WLR, because right there, the basement positioning, like you said, is going to take a while for forward to get out. By the time he reaches the stairs, breaking wheel can already be on the basement.
Mike doing an excellent job of hiding, by the way.
Hiding, this stealth. Yeah. Not even getting a single track away, but Fafa detecting her just right now. Transform too. Forward breaking an excellent time to get up, because when he's transformed with this, he has 7 seconds before he can go into the wheel form, as we see right here. And he's gonna go right after back to forward, but now Green has a chance to position himself and possibly conceal his identity from the hunter. Can he do it though? No, it looks like Green's gonna opt to run instead, which is fine.
Opting to go for that cipher once again. Now that she has an item, she doesn't really have much. It was the most she could do other than attempt to dodge that spike, but just barely getting caught in that range of it. Nice attempt from the forward, but very good job of timing for Fufu getting out that wheel. Yeah.
They coordinated that get up pretty well, honestly. Like I said, there's no better time to get up against a breaking wheel
There
than when he just. There really is not. No.
Yeah, no, because with most hunters, just I can't remember. But yeah, no. Attempt to I think magician on the spikes, but unfortunately that does not happen. And there we go. That surrender, seeing that 4-man for Fafa. Yeah.
That is a very strong start for Team WLR against Legacy right now. WLR being a rising star and not having too much of a name to themselves, but maybe they can make it here in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a
Fafa
lot
for
of.
sure making a name for his hunter. You can tell that, right? All the Fafa's making a name for his
Yeah,
hunter, for sure.
no. Honestly, I've always been excited to see Fafa's Hunter, especially when we would see more Spider first round, rather than that breaking wheel. But even now, I'm very excited to see what Fafa brings to the table, because when we do see Fafa play, we tend to see a lot of map control, even for hunters that, like, for example, with Spider, even though Spider herself does not have much map control, we've seen it a lot for Fafa, and being able to see that in Breaking Wheel, where the hunter itself does have that built-in map control, actually makes it a lot more beneficial for Fafa, because they've already acknowledged how to properly uh, use the control that they have as a hunter in order to increase it and enhance it. So it's very exciting to see that come to play.
Fafa definitely is a hunter who knows exactly what his sense is. He knows where to put his priorities, and beating a team like Legacy 4K and a team like Legacy on round one is something very difficult to do.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's Fafa managed. Like, wow.
Yeah. Whew. Great.
I will say the biggest misstep for the survivors, like I said, the initial kite. I think Alex definitely had plenty of time to get into a shovel. Forcing out a hit without snap right there still would have been fine, because anything is better than just giving a down like that, no trait, no expense of the hunter.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, especially because, like, with a character as forward, not forward, sorry, Gravekeeper, who's such honestly a strong counter to wheel. When he does not have that presence, just being able to, like, shovel and then just make sure that that does not get that presence in order to snap you, even with insolence, just would extend the time that you're given a lot, and it just it would be more beneficial for the team. But unfortunately, not getting that shovel off and not being able to go for it did put the survivors in a more difficult situation. What is Fafa? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just setting up the next round now. Miki, would you like to be in the spectator spot, or do you just want to watch the stream?
I'll watch it on the stream this time around.
Okay.
But thank you for the offer.
No problem. I was just double checking, seeing what you would like. Let's see what they're going into for those bands.
Do you guys in this chat have any prediction on how this next match will go? What the hunter will choose, and what do you think the survivors will choose? Let us know based on the map. The map is Ever Sleeping Town, and as we know, that Ever Sleeping Town is highly survivor-sided. It's got very good petting area, very strong. 2-story locations which stop hunters like BQ, stops hunters like Sculptor from just having easy reach of the ciphers. Because things being on an elevated level will make it a lot harder for those hunters to deal with. It's also very good mix for good hiding and rotation tools. So survivors have a lot to work with on WLR, but their opponent will indeed be Alien, and Alien is we've seen Alien. This gets nasty. If anyone can pull back that double 4-man and equalize the odds, it's definitely Alien. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Yeah. No, I'm expecting to see a lot from from Alien's Hunter for this match, especially on Ever Sleeping Town. I'm not quite sure what we'll be seeing. Probably a Sculptor or Dream Witch, something along the lines, which, as we know, Alien's Dream Witch and Sculptor very strong. Especially that Sculptor, just seeing the map control and things like that. Very excited.
I'm gonna point out somebody in comments. Yoruba said that even if he had dig, couldn't snap cancel the animation? No, because right there that was a no presence breaking wheel. A no presence breaking wheel does not have his snap. Therefore, a shovel would force a hit, which would then give him presence, which would then have a snap, but which would then lead him to need 2 more snaps or 2 more spikes or a physical hit with blink. And even then, forcing out the trait is better than not. Because as we saw with the secondary kite, Prisoner died, unfortunately, because blink was still in need up.
Yeah.
So I'm just pointing that out, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, just talk for a second. I'm just gonna set up the bands and things like that. Yep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for all you do. I'm gonna talk more about I'm gonna say Lin Ray. You know what? I mean, it cannot all just be professional. I got all that out. So now I'm gonna put in my goofy thing. You guys ever eaten something that's really not that supposed to be not that good, but like it hits different because you're hungry? Like, cause right now I'm eating on like a hot pocket, and I'm like, it's not supposed to be that good. It's like nothing special. It's not like right, but oh man, it's hitting different. I'm like, yo, this hot pocket busting. Anyone else get that feeling? Or is it just me? Am I just really hungry? I don't know. All right.
I have never tried a hot pocket before, so I can't.
Not missing out on much. It's okay, Olive. It's
Okay.
like frozen food. It's okay.
Okay. So we're going to start getting back into. Oh, y'all didn't see anything. So we're seeing for the first. We're seeing for the first band from the Hunter. We are seeing that mechanic. Yeah, understandable. Cypher Rush, insane. From that mech.
Not to mention, Olive, their what's it called? They did get a 4-man. Fafa did get a 4-man, so Alien's gonna need to prevent ties as much as he can.
Yeah, no, especially yeah.
And Mechanic, oh man, that gives a high chance of tie. So
Yeah.
Alien, good to move to ban Mechanic there, especially knowing the stakes of his match.
Yeah, Mechanic is certainly an excellent tie, or at least one-man character, because it's just simply because of that Cypher Rush, being able to force out that extra thing.
I'll definitely say that the secondary ban here probably might be forward. I don't know.
Yeah.
No being habit of banning.
It does. Yeah, no, it does seem like the lock-ins we will be seeing as a forward and a seer.
Oh yeah, locking in forward right there. WR smart with that because forward is a turnaround character. High risk, high reward. Can turn their loss to a tie, their no man into a 1-man. Like forward can do that, and that's what they're trying to secure right now. Especially if they have a really good and expert forward, then yeah, they'll have a higher chance of being able to pull that off. But it looks like Alien's secondary ban will be the roach.
Yeah, no, it definitely very strong picks from the survivors as well as the bands from the Hunter. We will be following those bands with a seer and not a seer, a merc and a prisoner lock-in. We've seen a lot of just like that merc making sure that prisoner making sure that Cypher Rush is strong and taking up the spot that mech once filled.
He can't do it as efficiently, but something is better than nothing when it comes to Cypher Rush. Yeah. And having a forward and a mercenary definitely will make Prisoner very viable for this game.
Yeah, honestly, I quite enjoy the Prisoner thing because, well, when it comes to mech being first kite, mech is a very strong mech is a very strong character for if because of the fact that she's a weak kiter. Overall, making sure that if she's first kite, she can guarantee that tie, and just having that risk of, if I do not kite enough, I can at least have my bot be able to pop that cipher. So just very strong fit. But Prisoner, honestly, in my opinion, does have a faster Cypher Rush in the beginning because mech does, when she's not chased first, it does tend to be slightly slower because of the fact that she does lose a lot of energy, but it does catch up more late game. It does seem like we will be seeing that Sculptor.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of figured that we would see a Sculptor from Alien because Alien's a very competent Sculptor, very good. Knows exactly what he's doing with her and has a high experience of killing some pretty good teams with Sculptor. I'm very much not surprised with this. Besides, pretty much has lost usability in round ones ever since, because 4-man already communications do counter, and not to mention that her trait and everything, she just doesn't establish as a Sculptor would.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Just her entire ability of the team not being able to properly communicate where she's going and where the main body is heading, only being able to see their own leeches. It definitely did mean that she had that upper hand, but now with, as you were saying, with that nerf, slightly lower, but yeah. Alright.
Very good point by a small boy right here, saying Sculptor and Breaking Wheel do not need your mistakes to win. They can hold their own. That's very much true.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Very good comment by a small boy. Nice job, bro. Good insight for telling the rest of the viewers that what makes Sculptor and Breaking Wheel such very powerful characters.
We'll be heading into that match. Ooh, that's not real.
And we got a fake gate spawn. The survivors are going to be in front and one to the left of this Sculptor right here. And as we see, the train's going to interrupt her a bit, but that's all right. And it looks like they're going to be on top of the prisoner and the mercenary. Can the mercenary conceal the prisoner's location?
I think the merc did properly conceal that prisoner. The connection does sometimes make it a little bit confusing, but it could also be a prisoner connecting to the merc, so that's probably why Alien is simply opting to follow that merc.
No. They ignored the prisoner. The prisoner is now safe and out of reach of this Sculptor. Very good job by WLR. Max rotation techniques using merc to mask the prisoner's identity and location. But prisoner looks like he's in the middle, which is kind of risky right there because the hunter has not yet coursed away from middle, and here comes the seer and the kite here. This is a very dangerous spot, the kite Sculptor, because she can absolutely squeeze you in. Yeah, absolutely.
We are seeing that insolence, however, come to play. It does look like Alien's carrying a left down build, which is very, honestly, a very strong build for guaranteeing that, like, pushing for that win, because you're relying on getting that presence as fast as possible so you can guarantee faster down. So very smart build from Alien.
I've never seen an insolent Sculptor, though, before all of that.
It's actually, I think that's not quite common, but like it's a very more recent common build in China for Sculptor in order to guarantee those faster downs. Because if someone does not have that early game, that strong early game, they do tend to like falter later in the later game because they simply don't have that presence. So by guaranteeing that they get their presence. Utilizing that. Ooh, very nice drop.
Alien keeping a really good eye on this forward right here, making sure that he is not in an advantageous position whatsoever to get this stun off. But now forward's gonna need either stun on chair or oh no.
Ooh, very good early game for Alien, getting that seer and that forward down. Simply by utilizing the drop feature. Plus that seer does not have self-heal anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. He can choose to keep the seer here at the chair without worrying about anything. He's going to use seer as a camping technique. And now we have a full presence Sculptor and a mercenary desperately trying to break through this wall that Alien is establishing, guarding this graveyard so well. Edge guarding it so perfectly. And just making sure that mercenary has no easy access to this chair and cannot get before half. Because as you can see here, these statues right here, mercenary is just trying so desperately to dodge them all. Elbow pads past him, breaks first the security, but however, he opts to go to the window instead of rushing in, knowing that he can't get before half. He's buying extra time. And this is honestly a good move by the mercenary right here. However, it's very nice statue dodge, very good knowledge of. And they elbow pads right past the chair, unfortunately, not being able to stop it in time. Now Alien, having a very strong position on this mercenary, can probably stuff. Nope. No, beautiful rest by the mercenary, but he does not get the hit somehow. I swear
it was mostly the forward taking that body block. Oh wow, that seer did crawl far. I didn't even notice that.
They weren't healing though. That's the thing. By crawling far, the seer was not healing, which means that the forward trying to heal them over here was not advantageous to them, and not only puts them in a worse position. Prisoner gets attacked, his body block does not take it. This is already looking like a very strong win for Legacy right here, because WLR had a huge misstep, missing 2 stuns and getting their forward down, as well as their seer expiring self-heal in front of the hunter. This will put them in a very dangerous position.
And this is a very excellent game for Alien. Just a very fast early game chase down, plus the successfully avoiding that harassing, being able to down that forward as well. Very good for Alien. Honestly, at this rate, I'm pretty sure that seer is simply going to bleed out. But
it would be smart for Alien to do that. However, there's not even dungeon available all of, so I mean, Alien really doesn't need to worry about much.
Yeah, despite not having many ciphers actually pop, they do have all 5 ciphers started, and 2 of them are very close, and the third one is past half. The only one that is the slowest cipher of them all is only at 20, but still very the cipher rush overall. If that seer had gotten rescued successfully, honestly, they had a very nice situation in place for that one man. But unfortunately, it did not work out that way, and Alien was able to take advantage of the situation as much as possible. Yeah.
Alien doing what Alien does best, honestly.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of your mistakes and making sure that you pay tenfold for them. Alien's punishment game and train awareness.
Yeah. As soon as that 5 seconds, I was like, oh boy, is Alien gonna get hit by this?
You gotta be careful there. Like, honestly, Olive. And, I'm not gonna lie, Alien's punishment game is amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Very smart of the survivors, however, to take it slow.
So well. Another notable hunter that we should know for a punishment game is Alien.
No, definitely agreed.
Bonfire did really good punishing Legacy last round, but looks like Alien's returning that punishment in tenfold with this, with WLR survivors as well. Giving him 2 free downs is not something. He's showing that he will not get anything less of a tie. He will not get anything other than at most a 1-man escape at making these mistakes. Because
seeing that mercenary, honestly, an interesting rotation, allowing that sculptor to see them, and now the sculptor's Alien is now currently aware of where both survivors are. One having got off the tram, and the other now just running in front of him. Ooh, almost getting hit by that tram too, boy.
This tram is scaring everyone right now.
Yeah, no, that tram threatening to be the best hunter in the ICL.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice pallet drop by that mercenary right there.
Avoid and narrowly dodging.
Fighting 2 story is not a bad idea. However, prisoner does need to get away because now the mercenary is 2 chip hits free. I think Alien's gonna opt to chase the prisoner right here and down them and just try to chip down the merc because he does have that option, being a full person sculptor. And he's trapping this prisoner amazingly right there. Not even needing to land his statues, just straight up cutting off his route and making sure he has to use bad pallets. And that's going to put Alien in an advantageous position right here. And he's going to try to blindly throw the statues out the windows, but does not quite get the angle off. Not like it matters all too much. Because here comes the teleport. Prisoner can now just easily get chipped down to death. But look, mercenary dodging that pallet. Very good changing up of kiting method by this merc right here. Alien swinging again at that pallet, but mercenary just looping. And also, notice how Alien, every time he makes his teleport, he's making sure that he has eyes on the prisoner as well as the mercenary. So Alien's doing a very good job keeping watch of both targets at once. And that is very impressive. Keeping track of one survivor while looking where the other is simultaneously during your chase, that is something not easy to do. And Aliens do so beautifully with these teleports being planned perfectly and being within range of the second survivor.
Yeah, no, Alien's, knowing that he has that time to take the match slow, to just continue going back and forth, because they still have 3 ciphers remaining. While they are honestly quite far, they're honestly quite decently worked on. Just have the fact that there is still 3 of them left means that Alien can afford slowly transferring ciphers, switching targets between the 2 of them, as it will be difficult for one person to complete all 3 ciphers in a switching time. But yeah, that merc opening another chest, getting Magician Wand. Still has self-heal.
Joggy, where you at? Joggy, where you at?
Ayo?
But what's going on here is that mercenary is going to be slugged by Alien right here. Having his chisel, being able to find out exactly where he is, will give him a lot of leeway with finding this prisoner. And honestly, prisoner will not be able to take down all these ciphers. He's using those statues to track down the location. As we say, full presence is a tracking class hunter, along with Dream Witch, along with Feaster, along with even Spider. Spider being a very notable tracking class. Gamekeeper actually too. Did you know that, Owen?
Gamekeeper's a tracking?
Yeah, because when he hits his hook, he lives 40 seconds, and within those 40 seconds, the survivor will highlight 2 times.
Oh!
If he tags you with a hook.
Damn.
So if you see a gamekeeper tag someone with a hook, and then proceed to teleport to the next target, that's because he'll know exactly where that other survivor is too.
Wow. I did not know that. That's interesting.
I don't know. The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah, getting that down on that prisoner.
But anyway, we got the prisoner dropping both pallets right here at 11. And he's going to be chilling middle and trying to conceal. Oh, no, that's the mercy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to be chilling middle. He's going to go upstairs. But it's not going to take much for Alien to whittle down this mercenary to the depths of his end. Because right here, we know you mercenary have expired self-heal, which is his final resource.
No, he did not have expired self-heal. The prisoner did indeed heal him up.
Oh,
yeah, so he still has that self-heal, which does put the survivors at least in a decent position, because they do have that time to throw Alien off. Because I'm not quite sure if the Alien is aware that they did have the prisoner heal him, but still.
That's really good. Did you notice what they're doing? All of those ciphers are relatively close. These survivors are dancing around Alien so beautifully. They're messing up his center of control. They're like giving them splitting up so like across each part of the map. One kiting, one decoding constantly. These survivors are doing something so beautifully. WLR not to be missed. This is an amazing effort by WLR right here. Look at them. Like 2 survivors in only, and they're still trying their best. 1 cipher down now. They died. There were 3 up. There's now 1 cipher done. This cipher having a lot of progress. Amazing. WR versus still having selfie, like you said. What rotations, what effort, and just what beautiful teamwork by WLR right here. Not to be missed. Definitely not to be missed.
The only problem is they are the prisoner is kiting fairly close to that merc. So if he does get that prisoner down and goes to look for that merc, it will be a fairly easy find.
Listen, running in a straight line, dodging all these statues. Wow,
that's
amazing.
the power of kiting a sculptor in the open.
This prisoner is doing amazing, dodging every single target statue Alien has dealt with them so far. And he's trying to buy as much time as he can for his mercenary pal to get up. And mercenary is indeed up, but Alien now has to force to chase this prisoner because he has lost target on the mercenary. Mercenary can return to corner house Cypher and try to get it ready. Maybe even getting a 1-man for WLR. Look at them not giving up. Look at this team effort, but there it is, down on the prisoner. Mercenary getting away from the Cypher because he knows exactly what's going to happen here, which is what Alien's going to throw Chisel on that Cypher and most likely teleport on it because sharing the prisoner here will not be beneficial to him.
Also, that prisoner no longer has self-heal. As he did use it earlier while the hunter was currently on the merc, but they're certainly doing an excellent job of just trying to push this game as far into their favor as possible. Starting with having 2 people down at 5 ciphers and being able to push it to 1 cipher, their communication is absolutely excellent, and they're just doing a wonderful job as a survivor team.
Absolutely. You can see all these people doing so well. WLR just showing that they're going to fight to the very bitter end. And look at this game of chicken going on right here.
Yeah.
You know by Alien throwing his chisel there? He's trying to bait the mercenary to touch that cipher. And mercenary's like, nah, fam. You gotta chisel it over there first. You gotta teleport over there first. Yeah. So they're playing a long game of chicken right now.
Mercury is supposed to get a item. He's got yet another magician wand. And now he's just doing his best to, not getting crows. He's just doing his best to avoid the hunter. Unfortunately, Alien
there are the tracks. Yep, the hunter will now know exactly where Mercenary is teleporting to close that distance. And here it is, the final moment of this game. Prisoner not being nearly close enough to bleed out for the Mercenary to get dungeon. This is looking like a 4-man, but wow, WLR went down fighting. With getting these ciphers done with 2 people on the map. That takes intense communication, intense discipline, and just overall sheer will. And there it is, the 4-man by Alien. But WR will not be forgotten for trying their very best right there. Beautiful, beautiful work from them.
Beautiful. Alright.
Wow.
Wow, so that was an excellent match to watch. Just seeing that survivor rotation, just communication overall, very, very good. Chef's kiss.
Mwah. See, wee.
All right.
Well, I mean, honestly, I speechless. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah.
I definitely did not see WLR trying super hard at that, and despite that, they can take this They take this 4-man and they can be content with it. Because not only are they only in a time position where they're matched up and they're not at any disadvantage, but they fought their best and they know they tried their best. And a determined team might be able to be the ones who pull it out in the end.
Yeah. All right, Miki. I'm just going to. We're gonna have a slight commentator swap. I am going to be going back into just my little streaming hiding hole, and Dazzle will be taking over for me for the following rounds. So
Thank you so much for being here, Olive. Honestly, it's always fun to commentate with you.
I certainly enjoy commentating with you as well. I hope you have fun for the next matches. Dazzle, feel free to take over.
Now
Hi everyone, how is it
again?
going?
What's up, Dazzle?
Hi Miki. Hi, it's great to be back into the commentator seat for ICL. First of all, thank you guys all for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, amazing first matches. I have actually been following them for a bit, was able to follow them on my way home. I just got home, so that's why I couldn't be there for the first round. So thanks a lot for Olive for filling in for me for a bit. But yeah, amazing first round. There was actually something I wanted to comment on, as I think there was a little bit confusion about the Ever Sleeping pick, and I think that's why I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Because I think Ever Sleeping is a really interesting and also really important map on any tournament or whatsoever, for the reason you have to keep two things in mind for Ever Sleeping. First of all, Ever Sleeping, and I think you said this as well, Miki, Ever Sleeping is a somewhat more survivor-sided map. There's a lot of great, strong kiting spots. You can transition very well throughout the town, so there's a lot of opportunities for these survivors to kite. However, at the same time, most, if not, I think even all meta hunters counter Ever Sleeping. Breaking Will is really strong on Ever Sleeping. Sculptor is really strong on Ever Sleeping. Dream Witch is really strong on Ever Sleeping. For that reason, if you have a team that has a really strong hunter, such as WLR, such as Legacy, you want Ever Sleeping to be one of your first map picks, because if you let Ever Sleeping as a third pick, that means they can go with a somewhat decent survivor team, as survivors have more options to play than hunters do. So they could go for a relatively strong survivor team. They have a map that is survivor-sided, but at the same time, they do have their 2 hunter bands, and they can also go counter comp. Like I said. So for that reason, if you leave Ever Sleeping as one of your last maps, that means that the round could possibly go to the survivors. However, if you pick Ever Sleeping as your first map, that means as a hunter, you can very well get a 4-man elimination, as we just saw. And with that, Ever Sleeping is also out of the run. You cannot pick Ever Sleeping anymore in the later rounds. So that's why Ever Sleeping is one of these maps you really have to consider when you want to put it in. Because if you leave it as the last map, that means that your survivors will have to do really well. But if you have more faith in your hunter, if you know that your hunter is the one who is able to carry your team, you're gonna pick Ever Sleeping as one of your first maps.
You want to submit that in LMLA format, Times New Roman, 12-point double spaced right there, because you wrote a whole essay. And man, you should submit that to Grammarly or something, because we need to have that cited. The book of Daza about Ever Sleeping Town, 600 words, double space, Times New Roman. Wow.
I sure did kind of come in with this whole essay, but I just wanted to point that out because, and that's, I think I've said this before, I really like Ever Sleeping. I think it's a really interesting map, and this is actually kind of one of the reasons why. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly point it out because I heard something about it and I was like, oh, I know why, or at least I can kind of think of why.
You're getting it out of the way. That's really good insight by you, Daza. I never would have guessed that. I'm not gonna lie. I could pretend and say, yeah, I knew that, but no, I did not know that. Wow, I did not know that.
Well, that's kind of what you get for like sticking around tournaments for a lot, because I think In the first, the first ICL, we saw a lot of late after sleeping picks, so a lot of third rounds. And then now this ICL, we see a lot of ever sleeping being the first pick, and that kind of shifted because I think people realized that ever sleeping, you really have to be strategic around that pick for that reason. So, yeah, I just think that's really interesting, and I just wanted to, well, not so quickly point that out, but yeah.
All right, here are we getting into the bans and picks now?
It seems to be the case.
That is Lakeside Village. If I see one, other than that, or it's a very thin hospital.
No, that actually is it is Lakeside Village. Yes, it's gonna be the first of the second map. I'll get into that a bit later. I do at the same time have to put in the bans as well. So that's why I sometimes kind of just randomly stop talking. My apologies for that. Like I said, multitasking, not really what I excel at.
Nah, you're doing just fine, Dazzle. Don't even worry about it. But looks like our very first bans are going to be the... If I can magnify my thing. We got the Seer ban and...
Perfumer.
Perfumer. It's very... I'm thinking wheel. 100% a wheel.
I mean... Seeing as how the last round went down, I would assume, because this is WLR is gonna play Hunter here, and I would assume Legacy is gonna ban Breaking Wheel here. Because you have to keep in mind, Fafa is known, and that's I think the only Hunters we've seen from Fafa so far in ICL is Breaking Wheel, it's Soul Weaver, and it's Ripper. And I'm gonna be honest, Fafa does great at Soul Weaver, Fafa does great at Ripper. Managed 4-man eliminations with Hunters that have dropped down so far into the meta. But at the same time, they are low on that Hunter tier list. They are generally, if the survivors just play their cards right, they can just play it safe. Things such as Cypher rushing, just selling, when they don't really have to rescue because they got an early down, because Ripper, for example, is a chase heavy hunter, but he has no map pressure. Soul Weaver has a little more speed, but same kind of thing, they're kind of tight to the area the chair is at. So for that reason, you can just go ahead, sell your survivor. And Breaking Wheel, of course, we've seen that Fafa did an amazing job switching between targets while one was on chair and just basically forcing the survivors off of their siphon machines, completely slowing down that Cypher rush. But Ripper and Soul Weaver not really able to do so. And here, indeed, we are gonna see a Breaking Wheel ban. We're indeed not gonna see Breaking Wheel. I do know that Fafa does like to play Soul Weaver on legs, or not Soul Weaver, I mean Ripper.
Ripper?
No, honestly, Fafa could play both. We have seen them play both at this map.
That's true. We have seen Fafa do an amazing job eliminating Fusion on Lakeside, if I recall, with Ripper. And honestly, Lakeside being a very powerful hunter map, in my opinion, as well. I can understand why Fafa likes it as a hunter. But when you're the survivor, you do have relatively good kiting areas. But when you're not in those areas, it's chopped for you. So it's kind of unfortunate that that's how Lakeside's oriented. It's oriented at big boat, favors big boat, small boat, and then I would argue Shore, but Shore is in a corner and leaves you not much room to transition without getting a free hit. So
yeah, you have to be really mindful of that Soul Weaver too, because Soul Weaver is really good when the survivors are trapped in their areas, and that's why Beach is really good for Soul Weaver, because it's really hard to transition away from Beach, and Soul Weaver being able to place their webs, it kind of means that they can cut that kite short, because you just place some webs, you have a lot of speed, you can potentially cut off certain alleyways, that kind of stuff. That's why Soul Weaver really can work the way around such areas, which is why Soul Weaver's not necessarily bad on Lakeside. It's just that Lakeside is really big, and once again, Soul Weaver doesn't have a lot of map pressure. Coming in with that forward and that psychologist, surprising to see that they did not opt to pick the psychologist in the first round, because that's what we've seen a lot so far. But honestly, like I said last week, I think too, psychologist came out in ICL and she just immediately worked her way up into the top favorite picks for obvious reasons. Because psychologist, this is probably not the nicest way to put it, but you could potentially say that you kind of get rewarded for not doing a great first kite with her if she gets found first.
That's just not true. There's no nice way to say it. Daz is absolutely right. You do get rewarded for not doing much as psychologist, unfortunately, because her shield does not overall deteriorate until given a hit, so she automatically needs an extra hit to go down. And also, if you hit like a mercenary or a forward from far away, and then you teleport to your next target, and it's not psychologist, guess what? They're all healed back up, and psychologist will return to full.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's why psychologists, and especially on a map like Lakeside, because once again, Lakeside is really big, so having that ability to heal from across the map is really strong.
Absolutely. I definitely think that psychologist on this map is going to be pretty strong. Legacy utilizing the size, honestly, because if it was like Red Church or something, Legacy does not have the fortune of using the size of Red Church because it's a very small map. And honestly, getting to a survivor and healing across the map is a lot more risky, because depending on what hunter they choose, they could get to them quite quickly before 5 seconds has expired, because of how small that map is and because of just, sheer map size. Not to mention, it makes endgame a lot trickier. Oh, Daza, there's one thing we have to know about Psychologist. She has one weakness, and that's endgame.
Oh yeah, that's true. Also, you do have to be...
endgame.
And this was really interesting with Team Tickle last week, because they opted to go for a team comp where only one person carried Tide Turner, since they went with a triple rescue team comp and then added their psychologist as their first survivor, basically forcing psychologist to be the first chase target, because the other 3 targets were pretty much unchaseable. But for that reason, they decided to go with a mercenary with broken windows, because if they did that rescue, psychologist could heal immediately off the chair and just tank an extra hit. Also, we do have the prisoner ban, Postman making his return. I know a lot of people were like, are we gonna see the Postman back? Postman indeed is back.
And there it is, Soul Weaver.
Soul Weaver indeed as well. So really excited to see that Fafa Soul Weaver against an arguably one of the strongest teams in ICL, if not in the entire server. But yeah, for those who don't know, Postman has been relatively, or not, maybe not relatively, but he has been getting more popular in the IPLs for the reason, what they say with Postman is that he is able to get out his decoding letter, and with that give a decoding buff for the first 30 seconds. I could be wrong on that one, because I don't really play Postman, so I don't exactly know what the times of the letters are like, but I think it was for around 30 seconds. You have 2 people decoding at really high speed, and for that reason, they kind of argue that Postman makes up for a decoder in that case, which is why we don't see any decoders on the team. We do see Postman. So that's kind of the reasoning behind him. And then they say Postman, because he is not actually a decoder, he is a support character, he is able to defend himself a little more when he gets chased.
Yeah, absolutely. Postman having that dog slowness thing, honestly, I will say that I don't think it's much, depending on what hunter you're going. Like Soul Weaver, she'll just boost herself forward, you're still getting hit.
But
Oh yeah, no, that's
uh,
true. But you do have to keep in mind that he has several other letters too that can give him like speed boost or like a temporary one-time broken window, that kind of stuff. So for that reason, he has more than, for example, a mechanic would have, or he gets more compared to a Mind's Eye actually.
I see that. He does get compared to the Mind's Eye. And I think Postman's a very unique character, and it will take a lot of practice to be very useful with him. Because, not to mention, Daza, the letters are RNG based.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But we are here with that small boat spawn. Seems like, is Fafa gonna go directly towards that big boat? Big boat going there directly is kind of a double-edged sword. Just looking around, seeing the forward here, opts not to go for it, goes towards that big boat instead. Like I said, double-edged sword because it's the strongest kiting area, so that obviously means that your weaker targets are gonna be decoding that big boat, which also means as a hunter you want to get there, but at the same time, really strong hiding area. And here,
Here's the thing, though, Daza. I'd argue that it's good. Oh wait, is that the mind games going on? But here's the thing, Daza. I'd argue that it's really good for them to for Fafa to opt to choose Big Boat because, like Percy, Soulweaver is one of the only hunters that can actually use Big Boat to their advantage with their quick speed and technique. Yeah, because like he can definitely use the webs to just climb up that boat effortlessly. And beautiful dog throw by the postman right there. They're like, nah, you won't eat that. And now they're going to use the pallet boost to get back on Big Boat. But like I said, Soulweaver being so powerful on this Big Boat, turning it from a good kiting area into a bad one. As my friend Psyche likes to say, y'all know Psyche, there are certain, when hunters counter the ability of good kiting areas, the ability to improvise and change your routes is a very powerful ability indeed. That is quoted.
That's exactly what we see from Postman here. He's not going to stick around this big boat knowing that Fafa is just going to web the heck out of that one.
Indeed. And Postman choosing to go to decode Big Boat in the first place was dangerous. I'd argue, knowing that Fafa favors to choose Soulweaver, they should have deployed Mercenary at Big Boat, knowing that Soulweaver is a very powerful chaser on Big Boat and makes that kiting area pretty much become obsolete.
Yeah, but you do have to also keep in mind, because the Postman did this wonderfully, what Postman did is sort of cancel out that web speed boost with his dog.
Oh yeah, that was very good exchange right there by the Postman. That Mercenary needs to be careful right here. They can take a Terror Shock now.
Ooh,
and they did! That's
regardless.
by Fafa. Oh, goodness gracious. Legacy in a terrible position right now, but wow. Fafa with the amazing stuff and the read on when Mercenary would mess with the chair. Just getting that one web hit right there was so key to stopping this Mercenary. And wow. Just wow. Right now, as we saw, the ciphers are at 3 right now. This is all up to Alex right here to pull it back with his forward, because forward can make dire situations turn into positive ones. And knowing that they're not going to rescue. That I don't know how I feel about that. That's a really tough spot, because having a stuff, if you get the rescue off, you at least get that 20 seconds for them. But this is a Mercenary, and they are going to stun on chair, which is, I find...
Ooh, they hit the
rock. That's us down again! That's a second stun from Fafa! Oh my goodness. Fafa playing to his strengths on Lakeside, just absolutely destroying these two rescue attempts by Team Legacy and turning this game into his favor very quickly. Although it was paced in a relatively neutral standpoint, taking advantage and punishing. Punish. Punish was the name of the game, and he did so beautifully by punishing that rescue and making sure that first one would not go off.
I will be honest, I'm quite surprised that the stun didn't actually go off. I thought that definitely hit the hunter, but wow, Fafa being in a really good... I mean, it was really good from the forward, realizing that once they got the spit hit off, that Fafa immediately would get that spit back up because of that full presence, and therefore would have likely gotten the stuff. But wow, this 4-man elimination solely off of these stuffs on rescue. That's insane. That was a really fast match too.
Absolutely. What a fast match. You know what this reminds me of, Dazzle? This reminds me of Tyrone's 4-man on Lakeside as Breaking Will. How fast that match went down. But he did it as Soul Weaver. Fafa does it as a non-meta hunter. What an amazing show from Fafa, giving all the audience of ICL right here just a spectacular show to watch. Wow.
Yeah, Fafa definitely said, I will be going home early today. I am not gonna go into that second match with Fusion. I am just gonna keep this match short. That was insane. But now we're gonna have Alien fight back again, so...
And if anyone can do it, it's Alien. With or without his sculptor, Alien is a very, very notable hunter.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Wow, what a kill. What a victory against... Wow, just wow. And this is Team Legacy. Fafa making Team Legacy look like rookies. And Legacy are not rookies. They're absolutely amazing.
No, definitely not. But once again, if I will be honest, like that first stuff on the Mercenary, beautiful timing from Fafa. Got that web shot nice and safe, and from there predicted the rescue from the Mercenary. Soul Weaver's quick swing coming in, beautiful timing from Fafa. Gotta give it to him for that one. But then the
second one was so unfair, I will admit. Yeah.
I will be honest, I do not know why Forward hit the chair and not the Soul Weaver in that one.
I think he hit the wall, actually, Dazza.
He hit the wall.
Yeah,
I should definitely have to watch the replay for that one, because that seemed really unlucky to me. Once again, Forward did a great job keeping track of how far Fafa was with his presence, knowing only one web shot. And then Fafa would be full presence, would get his web shot back up, would be able to do a second spit, and then a follow-up hit, which is exactly what happened. So Forward wanted to play it safe. Forward just wanted to get the Mercenary off, Mercenary being able to elbow pad out, and then potentially do a rebound kite with the Mercenary, or maybe the Forward, depending on what Fafa wanted to go for at that moment. But because of that, it did not happen, and that kind of just threw all of Legacy's options to even get a draw out of that matchup, or even one survivor out, maybe. Indeed, as Juggy points out, Alex is actually a Europe player, so they do play on Yellow Ping, which is maybe what we saw happen here.
I don't know, though. Can Ping create a random invisible wall?
Yeah, it can. I'm speaking from experience as a Europe Forward player. Yeah, it does happen. Sometimes you just really get stuck on nothing because controls are kind of delayed, kind of slow, kind of wonky, just like the lag. And for that reason, the game can sometimes register you like turning too late or whatever. Even I sometimes don't know. I've gotten stuck on a straight alleyway. That was like, or you cannot dash through pellets, for example, because the game will register at as you hitting the pellet, for example. So that's why Yellow Ping as a Forward can be really disastrous, because it will sometimes really just get you stuck on nothing.
This is a very intense, dynamic start to playoffs, I'm not gonna lie, Dazza. Having two 4-mans go down for the Hunters, one for Team Legacy and one for Team WLR, even after their hard determination to get at least one person out on ever sleeping and tying up. Here they're gonna show they have a second chance at it. Fafa secures a 4-man and gives WLR a lot of leeway, and only needing one survivor to escape once more. But if anyone can make sure that all of their kills are in check, it is definitely your boy.
Yeah, I do see people saying whether it was luck-based or not. It's not luck-based. Not at all. Yeah, what I'm basically saying is Forward got
Lag
unlucky
bait?
getting stuck on nothing, but Fafa definitely planned to get the rescuer down with that double spit and then the hit, which is why the Forward wanted to play it safe. It sadly did not happen, and Forward could have missed it. Like, maybe I saw it incorrectly. To me, it seemed like just kind of got stuck on
It
nothing,
looked
but
like he actually made it, though. I was like, he's gonna go around the corner, get the stun in, and then he's gonna like transition, back
Yeah.
out here. So I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Anyhow, we are going into the next matchup. Syrup Psychologist ban. Getting that Sculptor ban, obviously you want to get Alien Sculptor out of the way. Playing it safe, Forward and Mercenary gonna be picked first from WLR here. And let's see
They're
what
trying their
happens
best
from
to
there.
get at least one person out, and having at least 2 tough characters, like a Forward and a Mercenary, gives you a higher chance of doing that. But we saw them try to do it last round, and it was their plan was thwarted by Alien. So, I mean, it will depend. This is Lakeside now. It is Hunter favored, I would say. I'd argue it's Hunter favored. So, Alien will have a little easier of a time hunting on this map, as we see. But, however, it was home turf for Fafa, because Fafa is most comfortable on Lakeside. And, honestly, I don't know if Alien has 100% like... if Alien also plays very well on Lakeside, but we'll have to see it turn out, because I think in general Hunters do perform relatively better on Lakeside from what I've seen. But
Overall, though, I have seen some Hunters getting only ties out of a match for the reason that they would play something that's not necessarily meta. You have to keep in mind, Lakeside is more of a Hunter-sided map, has really secluded areas. It's not really easy to transition around the map, but at the same time, Breaking Wheel, for example, is not necessarily really good on Lakeside.
no, absolutely, because wait, you said Breaking Wheel is not necessarily good on Lakeside?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd say so, unless you get middle spawn, and then you're really unlucky because you can just rush there.
Yeah.
That's the only exception. But yeah, there's Big Boat, there's Little Boat, there's Windows by Shack, there's Windows everywhere. Windows by Crab Shack even.
Yeah,
Right.
no, indeed. It has generally, I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I think relatively Lakeside has a lot of windows. Not necessarily super good windows, because, for example, you have that window corner with the small boat. It's not good windows, but it works for Breaking Wheel, and there's a cipher that does spawn there. So, for that reason, Breaking Wheel, I mean, we've still seen it happen for man eliminations, but also, I think Fafa also got a draw on Lakeside when they decided to play Ripper, for the fact that he just got cipher rushed.
Yeah, Ripper does not, as what Ripper has in strong chase, in strong camp, Ripper does not get that luxury for his map pressure, because Ripper he's fast, yes, but if you separate your ciphers perfectly, there's really not much you can do. He will get cipher rush just by them waiting it out and playing accordingly. So, I mean, yeah, that's just life. The third ban being Priestess. Yeah, Roach being very obnoxious on this map, especially against characters like Dream Witch, characters like Sculptor, but Sculptor is banned here because the Roach is very strong using the global portals. But however, Roach, the only person that counters global portals, I'd really argue, is Breaking Wheel or a Cypher or Trait Teleport if they don't have it down. And this we're gonna see a Painter and a Perfumer from Team WLR probably calling out a Breaking Wheel option.
Does seem to be the case. I mean, honestly, Alien does play a lot of Hunters, so
I was
surely
thinking you were gonna see a Dream Witch.
I mean, Dream Witch on Lakeside is really interesting. I would say it's not her best map. obviously not necessarily the worst, but definitely not Soul Weaver or Soul Weavers. I'm still thinking about Fafa in that round. My apologies. I mean Dream Witch. Because of the fact that it is rather large, and you do have to keep in mind, like, the teams we're seeing right now, we're down to the top 3. We're in the semifinals. These are the best of the best we have in ICL. So for that reason, I'm definitely expecting WLR to be on top of their deleting, making sure that Alien does not get too much control over that map. And if they do that, it's gonna be really hard for Alien to maintain pressure, because of course they have that middle cipher. They have middle cipher where a Dream Witch can apply a lot of pressure from there on. If you start working from like corners and such, it can get really hard on Dream Witch, because like I said, if they just manage to delete, not get too many leeches on the map, that means that there are gonna be areas that are gonna be left unguarded by the Dream Witch. And Dream Witch obviously excels at that mid game to end game. For the fact that they have several leeches out, they will start in the early stages of the game, building out their game, getting some more leeches, getting that first down, and just kind of working their way up from there, not necessarily going for strong early game, but an early game to set up their mid to end game, and just kind of come back from there, making sure to disrupt Cypher Rush later on with that map pressure that they have, protecting Cypher machines, etc., etc. We kind of know the drill. We've seen Dream Witch around for a long time already. But yeah, for Lakeside, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Dream Witch definitely excels in the smaller maps like Red Church, where there are more areas for her to block off and cut off. But Dream Witch can work on, as we can see a very sunburnt Dream Witch going towards the shore right now, probably pushing Crab Shack spawn, because this is a key spawn for Alien, and he knows where his survivors will spawn. But it looks like he's going to opt to ignore the person decoding at Crab Shack right there, and is instead going to push towards Little Boat. Now, as you see, these beautiful rotations going off here, and he's going to decide to push Shack instead, which will lead him to run into the Perfumer, which is it's an okay target, because Alien does hear our Patroller and can use get a free first hit and then Patroller the other one. Yep, like I said, Perfumer on cooldown now. However, he is not in a good position to Patroller right there. So, unfortunately, not being able to take advantage and capitalize off of the Perfumer giving a free hit right there. So Alien punishment game kind of lacking right here. But here comes the Patroller coming on the Perfumer right here. He's probably going to use it to wait out, which is also another really good option. But is he going to see the Perfumer? Yes, he does. Okay, yes, he does. And she's going to make it to the ballots already. And, however, Alien can use roamer mode and catch up relatively quickly, which is not what we're going to see here. But, yep, there's the hit right there using Patroller to stop her in her tracks and prevent her from using any sort of items. And she's going to be pushing towards Little Boat. Not Little Boat, Big Rock. And, yeah, we're going to see them push Big Boat now. But Alien's going to opt to change his target, which is kind of interesting. But Perfumer does take a long time to get healed up. I think he can afford to do this. Especially seeing as someone.
You have to keep in mind that Perfumer has a lot of distance. Of course, Alien opting to use that leech, that was the Perfumer's leech, for the reason you just want to have the Perfumer injured. Otherwise, the Patroller would have gone off without anyone getting hit, and having that opportunity to injure that Perfumer, that can be huge, because although she may have gotten away, that indeed means that they would have to heal up, because Perfumer being injured is just, it takes away her entire ability. Well, not entirely, but a big part of it.
And
beautiful early down on the Painter, though.
Oh, wow, yeah, absolutely. And the game does a very good job at, what's it called, punishing the survivors for the Perfumer user for taking hits without perfumes. They punish them with that long healing time, and that's what that's for. And, so it looks like they're not going to opt to heal the perf. They're going to have the forward be moving for the rescue. And also, did you see a little thing that Alien did there? Did you notice something, Daza? I'll wait and see if you...
When do you mean? Like, in the Painter's chase, or after it?
After the chase. After the Painter's chase, a very beautiful attention to detail by Alien. Just the small things that might happen in the future.
I'll let you point it out. I was reading chat for a bit.
Oh, that's okay, Daza. But what he did there was he threw a leech in front of the chair and walked across it with Painter, making Painter pick up the leech mark. And why this is significant is because whenever you have your first chase have a leech mark, you do not allow any of the other survivors to get it. And when a first chase will always be chased, and they cannot take off the leech off in time by themselves during a chase with a good Dream Witch. And that's what Alien did to make sure that he's not punished for leaving around a leech mark. And he used it on the Painter instead, which was a very, very smart move. It's the little things like this that show that make the difference between a good Dream Witch and a great Dream Witch.
Yeah, and honestly, Alien is one of the best, if not the best, that NAU currently has to offer on Dream Witch players.
Absolutely. Seizing control of middle right there, being a final objective, having middle is kind of very dangerous, like I said. Forward is going to be attempting to make this rescue. The last Cypher is going to be... What is it? I mean, it's got 12%. It's really not that much. I'm pretty sure Alien's in a pretty relatively tough...
Oh, did the forward cancel? That's done.
I don't know how I feel about this. A miscommunication by WLR. Survivors are here, unfortunately. Canceling out that forward stun and using the painting just a little too soon. And that's going to be really tough on them. Here's the patroller on the Dream Witch Reservoir. But here comes the forward trying to help him out. Coming in for these body blocks. Alien hitting the forward. This is huge right here. The Cypher is still getting worked on slowly, bit by bit. And now that pallet being available is going to make it very hard for Alien to secure his kill right here. Don't forget, Alien does indeed need a format. Mercenary blocking the blink. Oh my goodness gracious. What? Wow.
Missing that blink was really huge for Alien, because if he would have gotten the Painter down right there, that Painter would have been eliminated and the game would have been kinda in Alien's favor. They are gonna pop the Cypher here. Forward is gonna get that basement. You're not really gonna pull off a basement rescue against a Dream, especially not Aliens. But honestly, the objective here for WLR is to get one survivor out of here. And now, in this situation, they could very possibly do so. However, at the same time, keep in mind, Painter has been leeched. There is a leech on the Painter.
Not to mention right here, there's the one-man escape.
Perfumer got out. Perfumer managed to get the gate off in time.
I was saying all that WLR needed to do right here was to divide attention, which is what they did exactly. Have survivors split up in all different directions and make sure at least one person escapes. There's the quick down by Alien. However, if it's not a 4-man, it's not going to be very good for Alien right here. He's going to try to get this Mercenary, but Mercenary has an elbow pad. He's going to play a game of chicken with him. With his elbow pad. There's the elbow pad. Gets right past Alien. Can he pick the Merc up? Perfumer coming over to stall. Can he get the Merc? He gets the Merc. So it's a 3-man elimination on Alien. However, he did need a 4-man to tie things up. So this round will be going to WL.
Well done from WLR, getting that one person out of there, that needed person out. They still have an opportunity. It's not quite over, although Painter not having anything to work with, it seems very unlikely. But once again, beautiful job from WLR, getting that one survivor out of there. That does put them in a lead. However, at the same time, Alien making sure to still get that 3-man elimination. Very well done as well, because right now the lead, point-wise, it's only a 2-point lead from WLR. So there is definitely a lot of room for Legacy to still turn this around, but currently WLR with this play will be in the lead.
Absolutely. But I did not expect those amazing body blocks. That WR using absolutely everything at their disposal to get that secured 1-man at least. Just absolutely making sure that Alien was not going to kill the Painter. Just that teamwork and that communication. Like forward meeting him around the front, like that was wow. And taking that hit from the patroller. And we see Alien as a hunter that usually ignores body blocks quite well, Daza. So, I don't know. Pretty surprised here.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to give it to WLR. They've been performing incredibly well this season. We have not seen them lose a game so far. Same, of course, goes for Legacy, but WLR hasn't lost a game as well. And for the fact that WLR is still a new team, they have been created, I think, well, a little bit before ICL, I think. So let's put it at maybe 2 to 3 months. Being able to take on Legacy, that's insane.
To dance with one of the toughest teams in NAEU when you're just an uprising team is just wow. I don't know, man. Like that's pretty impressive, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if this is the level that they're putting up already, I am definitely expecting some great things from this team, and I definitely hope to see them around for, well, Call of Abyss. I'm just gonna put it out
I was about to say, Call of Abyss material right here, honestly.
I mean, I would love to see Fafa into Call of Abyss.
I would love to see Chinese commentators react to Fafa.
Oh yeah, especially if they pull out that Soul Weaver, that would be insane. Imagine Soul Weaver being back after what, I think 3, because it was like the Call of Abyss 2, Soul Weaver was still meta. From 3 on, Soul Weaver lost her spot. So we have seen 2 Call of Abyss without Soul Weaver.
But look at Fafa demonstrating why you should not sleep on a character such as Soul Weaver. And demonstrating so amazingly.
Okay, by the way, I see someone asking, is this round or point-based? This is round-based, which is why WLR is currently in the lead. They do have that 1 point lead as the first round resulted in a draw. So yeah, goes by rounds first. So if Legacy manages to win this round, they will go to points. If the points are tight, we're going in extra time, which will likely be played off stream to kind of cut the time short, because we of course have another team waiting. Although no, actually not. We will have to play this because this matchup will decide who's gonna go up against Fusion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, in that case, as much as I love to see more of both teams, I do hope that we're not getting extra time. But yeah, in the case that it would be played 6-3 in favor of Legacy in the third round, it would go to extra time. If Legacy wins by a larger amount, that would mean Legacy wins, and if WR manages to take this round or just draw this round out, then it would go to WR for the fact that they already have that 1 round win.
And there goes Daza filling in for what I cannot do. Scores. Which I really appreciate, honestly, because like when it comes to like filling in, like, you know, telling you what it's like good, what could have been done, like I excel at that. But when it comes to like points and scores, I'm just like, yes, they got points, and that means they won. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just reading it off the screen as well, so you'll get there. It's just
I think it takes.
I mean, I remember at the start, I would kind of guess what the points were. I wasn't exactly sure, so I'd be like, I think this team is in a 3-point lead, and I think they still need 4 points if they want to win or overtake them or whatever. But honestly, doing ICL more and more, I kind of got more used to like calculating that stuff. Not always on point, because I get distracted sometimes, because I also have to like keep an eye on the bands, of course. But other than that, yeah, you'll get there, Miki. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Anyways, I'm gonna implement the bands right now. So I'll be back in a second. The map is gonna be Moonlit, and we will see. Have a quick look. We'll see WLR. We'll see Fafa hunting first again.
All right, WLR hunting on Moonlit River Park. Moonlit being tailored a little more towards Hunter, I'd argue. But actually,
I once heard a theory that Moonlit is both sides and favored depending on what side you're on. Fourth and third stop side being Survivor favored, and first and second side being Hunter favored. However, I'd say first and second does have Godkite, but Godkite being the only good area on that side makes it, yeah, I agree. Godkite and Two-Star being the only good area on that side. And then fourth side, of course, has a lot more versatility with kiting areas for survivors. So, yeah, I'd argue that's pretty correct. But in terms of size, when the map is larger, Hunter is always an advantage because it takes longer for survivors to get to gate. And Hunter can use teleport. Or depending on what Hunter they are, maybe just their ability like and Naiad even, and get to gate effortlessly. But
I
right
do-
here, we're probably gonna see. Wait, what'd you
I
say,
mean, I
Megan?
do kind of expect two things could be going on. Because I am pretty sure Fusion. Man, I get a lot messed up today. I
Okay,
think
okay.
Lex gonna go ahead, ban Soul Weaver and Breaking Rule here. That's what
And
I
we're gonna see
would.
Ripper, and I think we're gonna see Ripper.
I
because-
mean, Fafa does play Anne as well, so I would say, in this case with Moonlit,
And
I would say Anne. I think Anne would be arguably a better pick on Moonlit than Ripper would be. Because it is such a big map. And of course, I'm pretty sure Fafa can make it work. So if Fafa opts to go Ripper, I'll trust him 100% on that pick. However, I would assume Anne would be the better pick here.
Bans being Seer, is that Prospector? Yep, and 100% and. They ban Prospector, it's 100% and.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. It is Prospector indeed.
What on earth? Yeah, that's definitely gonna be an and then.
Yeah.
I guess Fafa's respecting the counters of Anne and knowing exactly.
I mean, you do have to keep in mind, T-Max. I think it's T-Max. I'm not 100% sure. If I'm wrong, I'm very sorry. But they are an amazing Prospector. And, like, Prospector overall is actually a rather good character. We've seen him being played more in ICL as well. So, it's definitely one of the stronger kiting characters. So, knowing that Legacy has that really strong Prospector, it is quite smart to just take that out. However, him being the elimination in like the first 3 Survivor elimination bans picks, I misspoke on that one too. Nice going. I'm doing very well on this. Anyways, being in that first 3, I would definitely assume it's gonna be Anne.
Yeah, I can honestly start to see the favor towards Anne now. And honestly, Anne also has a very easy time on Moonlit because what counters Anne usually is if you're like relatively really far away from her at like good pallets and windows where she can't get her cats off. But when she cats you, she's gonna catch up to you on Moonlit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Her hop's crazy.
So indeed, Breaking Wheel and Soul Weaver are gonna be banned. Legacy is currently behind by 1 round and a total of 2 points.
I mean, yeah, Alien
3
secured the
points.
3
3
man.
points, I'm sorry.
Oh,
They're
3
behind.
points. At least Alien did secure the 3 man on Lakeside, so they aren't behind like even more points. So, I mean,
Yeah, the gap is definitely something that Legacy could possibly work with. It's not the end of the world. Gonna lock in forward once again. Very smart. Priest
I
is
mean,
coming
Legacy, we know them to play really well at disadvantage. Like, usually Legacy does not let disadvantage, like, deter them from...
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind too that with Team Tickle, they went to a 4th round too, but they did manage to eventually win that matchup too, and that was against John Sao, who is an amazing player as well.
Absolutely. Round 4s usually mean that both teams are so evenly matched, where even more time needs to be determined to see who would actually win the matchup. And going against John Zhao and just getting that secure, just insane. Crazy. And here we have a Priestess lock as well. This is going to make it easy for you to traverse across the map and knowing that they don't have access to Breaking Wheel is going to make it so that they can punish hunters for taking the portals and make sure that their kites are a lot longer than they could be because Priestess is nasty. Everyone knows that, especially on Moonlit. And then forward locking in because they need that assist. And honestly, we all know Alex and Green. Legacy has 2 amazing forwards, and they can choose between those 2. And we'll see what they can go with. However, I would argue that Anne counters forward. So
Yeah. And you do have to keep in mind that they went ahead ban Mercenary as well. So it seems like they are not too afraid of Cypher Rush because Mechanic is still available. So not too afraid of Cypher Rush. But at the same time, getting that Mercenary out of the way would seem to me they are very confident that they will stop that rescue.
Absolutely. If anyone can, I mean, Fafa did get plenty of stuffs today.
Oh
So
yeah, I
did
did not forget that second round. That was insane. 3 stuffs, that's something else.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 stuffs is just not against Team Legacy too.
No, indeed. So I would definitely see why Fafa is feeling confident on the camping, and you have to keep in mind too, which is also I think they might go Painter because I think they might feel that this is going to be an Anne, but Anne is really good at pushing the chair past half. If they cannot go for a rescue right before half, or well they can, but it's really hard. So you have to be very wary of that because with those cats, and a good Anne will be able to push that chair up towards, or well, past half. So you have to keep in mind that that's definitely something they could do. So for that reason, with Painter, you do not really risk that. He has the stun, so Painter could potentially do something against Anne. I see someone in chat saying Psychologist. That would also be a solid pick because there is 14 seconds between the cats, and Psychologist could heal up in that time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually think that Psychologist is a fantastic pick. And not having it banned either by Fafa, they could definitely take advantage and show that Psychologist is not to be slept on.
Yeah, no indeed. So basically it comes down to Legacy having several options. They could go with Mechanic, just go for the pure Cypher Rush. They could go with characters that would stand a chance in a kite, and it's gonna be Psychologist and Mechanic indeed.
And that's a very good pick, honestly, knowing that Breaking Wheel, the biggest threat to Psychologist, is out of the way. And Fafa's amazing Soul Weaver is also out of the way. Mechanic is a lot safer of a play now, too. And maybe Legacy shows confident in kiting Anns, because Anne has been seen a lot in rank, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're quite familiar with how to deal with one. It's round 3 where usually the survivors tend to triumph over the hunters, because the hunters are now playing characters that they are not as comfortable with as they would be playing like their main 2 and 3 characters. And yep, it is indeed in it. And we're gonna see how Anne plays out on Moonlit. Although I would say map favors the Anne, however matchup favors the survivors. That's my take on it right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I do not dare to make any predictions for the fact I know Legacy is a very strong team. So especially with the characters they chose, they stand a really strong chance. But Fafa has been performing incredibly well this season, and we have not seen him play Anne this season so far. So I'm not really sure what Fafa is capable of doing here. I cannot really predict it. It could go either way for the fact, I mean, maybe Fafa is an insane Anne as well. But on the other hand, it could also, I mean, it could be that they just waited to pull out this Anne against Legacy, knowing that they would need a lot more if they want to win against Legacy. But it could also be that maybe Fafa is not as confident in N, and that's why they've been going with Ripper instead. It could be either of the two, you know, and I'm not really sure which one it is. I feel I kind of lean more against Fafa being confident with N and just pulling this N out here against Legacy, knowing that this is what Fafa needs to win against this team. But I don't know. I just don't know what to expect here from Fafa. I kind of know what to expect from Legacy. We have seen them. They've been around for a fairly long time. I mean, not that long, but longer than I think any of the teams in ICL this season. So we do know a lot more from them than we know from Fafa with his end pick right here. Oh, it's just it's going to be interesting. I am once again really excited. We haven't seen N a lot this season. Could even be the first one, but I'm not quite sure on that. We do know from last season N was fairly popular, got that buff, became better than Blood Queen, having more camp potential, but kinda, yeah, and kinda lost her spot once again for the fact that once again she doesn't have map pressure really, and Blood Queen was the safer draw option.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw it grow immensely in popularity ever since Koa 4. Everyone really wanted to use Anne after that and wanted to make a name for her and make sure that she wasn't like slept on her. And honestly, Anne had her time in the spotlight. But it looks like Fafa is going to attempt to bring her right back into it. And who knows? Maybe I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Fafa like popularizes Soliver again. But it looks like we have right here a broken carousel spawn. My apologies. And he's going to be on green right away. Green.
Oh no! Right away, finding that mechanic with an unlucky start for Legacy here.
Yeah, green dodging these cats right here. Fafa's freaking out. Look at me shaking his face. Like, yes, I found the mechanic. But yeah, it's very unfortunate right there. But however, his bot is out. And we know that when mechanic dies, she doesn't really get hard punished for it. Because we do see that mechanic does have bot out. And bot is going to be a key pivotal tool in order to compensate for the short kite. But
beautiful mind game from Fafa there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We did see that the priestess was trying to set up some portals, making escape round for this mechanic, but the beautiful mind game from Fafa, getting that entire kite short.
That kite was extremely short, and Legacy being at disadvantage especially, they're gonna need to regroup and see what else they can manage here. We have them relatively close to forward Cypher as well, and as I said, Anne kind of counters forward, so it's really difficult to get any sort of like special stuns and that type of stuff against Anne because she does just close circles, and also not to mention having knowledge of where the survivor is coming from can indeed make this rescue a lot more difficult for this team.
Seems like they are going in for the double rescue. It's gonna be an terror shock on the psychologist.
That's gonna be an easy down, but like here's the thing, I don't even know why psychologist is coming for this rescue in the first place. Forward seems like they had it managed. The rescue is indeed before app, but there's the backswing right there by Fafa, and honestly, they're gonna be tracking down the mechanic again. Mechanic having Tide Turner cannot take the coaster, but will it expire on time? It does, and she will be able to take this coaster. However, teleport being available is the stop pressed. It is pressed. Mechanic will be going all the way to third stop. And Psychologist is up and can take 2 hits now, like a regular survivor. But this is why Psychologist is so powerful against these characters, because using that triple hit status and making sure that they aren't instantly down after expiring a self-heal like that is going to put them right back into the game, especially because he loses his target right there.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is a huge turnaround for Legacy. The only downside here is that the Psychologist still has a bit of healing left, so that definitely leaves an opportunity for Psychologists to still do, well, maybe not necessarily a rebound, could be, but at least waste a bit of time still.
Absolutely wasting a pretty good amount of time. And mechanic, obviously, Fafa doesn't even worry too much
about it because he knows that Mechanic is one chair. So when he finds Mechanic again, he just tunnels her, and it's like kumbaya for him. But he's just chilling on this chair. And Psychologist is about to reach the after half now, and they are now after half. So I don't know what Team Legacy is gonna opt to do here. Are they gonna go for a tie? So are they not gonna rescue, or are they gonna push this win still? It's all up to the choices they decide to go for here. And it looks like there's no one by this chair. So Papa's just kind of chilling. And he's looking at the forward cipher and pushing it like fast as he can right now. Making sure forward is not decoding cipher. No decoding. And so we have Anne establishing that map pressure right now on this forward
Psychologist
cipher.
is sadly having to be eliminated here in order to save the Mechanic. But Legacy has a good progress. They have 4 ciphers with quite a bit of progress onto them. So there's definitely an opportunity for them to draw this out. If they find the Mechanic here, however, forward will have to come around. Otherwise, this is gonna result in a loss.
Absolutely. This is going to be a very key moment for Legacy right here. Can they make all the correct choices to pull out a tie against Fafa? A very formidable hunter as he's showing. Using that Candelabra right there to get those double jump going, because like even positioning it like that does not put him at a disadvantage at all. It's not wasting the trait. He uses it to close distance. It's just very good use of Anne, honestly. Because Anna's very versatile use, in my opinion.
Yeah, but at the same time, you do have to give it to Green as well, doing his very best to put as much distance between himself and Fafa here.
One cipher down. Legacy can definitely pull this tie. Priestess being the one at 10.
The fact that Green did not give up any hits or whatsoever definitely puts Legacy back in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
However, you do still have to keep in mind, Fafa will have teleport available.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Endgame teleport is very deadly to deal with, especially against an Anne, since she can jump gate to gate relatively quickly, like I said, and being one of those hunters which don't have a lot of punishment when it comes to big maps. And honestly, I really think that Legacy needed that absolute reset right there. Taking out Psychologist, and for a good reason too. Psychologist not having self-heal would be a liability in the future. So Legacy did a very good decision by getting rid of the Psychologist from the game and showing that, and just making sure that all your survivors will have self-heal. And it was a very good choice by them. They got high value out of that sacrifice, especially because they're now down to 1 cipher, and indeed are set up for a very strong.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I do have to give it to Legacy. I think of all teams, they have been able to make the most use out of the roller coaster in ICL so far.
Yeah, absolutely. They made great usage of it and got good value out of it. However, no tide here. Mechanic will go down, but there it is! The Cypher Pop, using an ability. It's kind of like Blood Queen's Mirror. If you don't get a cat out from Anne, you're not going to get value out of that. So right here,
interestingly enough, goes after the Priestess here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Going after the Priestess is I don't know if that's the best choice because she's a very tough endgame kite. Having all
and you do have the Mechanic right there. I am not quite sure. Wasn't paying enough attention to that line, so I'm not sure if Priestess got rescued before or after half. But Priestess is gonna go down here. And when teleport is available, Mechanic is making their way over to the other gate. But forward is getting out of it. You do have to keep in mind, of course, Priestess still has that self-heal available, is able to heal herself up very quickly.
Unfortunately, Ford not escaping right there. Ford could have made that very much a 3-man if that was the case, that he escaped. But Papa timing it just right with the gate opening right there, getting very lucky that the gate was not exactly quite open to make an escape. And Anne being a relatively fast teleporter, almost as fast as Geisha, because as we know, that Geisha is the fastest teleporter in this game, and Anne followed him just in time. Priestess just chilling right here.
Yeah, I mean, Priestess doesn't really have to worry about that mirror image still being up. Buffa is gonna try and make his way over as quickly as possible. It is actually gonna be in time, so Fafa could still potentially win this.
Oh, that gate's not open. That mech is down, unfortunately. And that forward with no one to rescue for it, this is a win for Fafa. Wow, he actually made it. That's
Beautiful job once again. This was an intense match because this was definitely looking really good for Fafa in the first minutes. Mechanic was down. Of course, Mechanic still had her bot out, so there was an opportunity for Legacy, but then the Terror Shot coming in rescue after half was definitely more in Fafa's favor than was in Legacy, but they had a beautiful reset using that coaster, making sure that the stop was switched, getting that mechanic all the way out of there, forcing Fafa to switch targets, sacrificing Psychologist in order to push those Cypher machines. I do wonder what would have happened because in the end they had a lot of different ciphers with a lot of progress, so that does mean that a lot of necessary decoding has been taken place. So we could have potentially seen an earlier pop, for example, when the priestess went down for the first time. That would have also made a little difference, I think. But obviously that did not happen, and I mean there was also a good reason why the ciphers were being spread a lot, but you can definitely see that there was a lot of overall cipher progression, because I think it was overall around 650%, if not even more. So they almost did 2 full ciphers extra. And that definitely can hurt you. And I think that's, in the end, one of the reasons why Legacy got 3 men eliminated instead of a draw. Because they had, once again, beautiful reset with that roller coaster.
Yeah, but however, like you said, decoding extra ciphers can be very detrimental to the progress of the game, progression of Survivor especially, because every second longer that you stay in the game that's unnecessary is beneficial towards the hunter, not the survivors. And as we saw right there, that was just proof that stalling the game, unfortunately, even though they had a very beautiful reset, did not end up profiting for Team Legacy.
Yeah, indeed. So, let me have a quick look at the score. If Alien gets a 4-man elimination, this will go into overtime.
But if not, it will go to WLR?
Yes, exactly. If WLR gets 1 survivor out of this match, it is gonna go to WLR.
Question being, Dazzle, what do you think Alien will pull?
Man, I have to think about that for a little bit. Also because I'm putting in the bands, but what is Alien gonna pull? The issue is that Alien can pull a lot. And that's why I wouldn't want to be in WLR shoes right now. It's gonna be really hard to really target ban here. I mean, he could say, I'm gonna go Anne as well. He could very well go Bloody Queen, because if Legacy... No, he cannot, because he needs a 4-man elimination. Forget what I said. I was confusing this for a bit. He needs a 4-man elimination, so Bloody Queen is not going to be an option, because that's going to be draw. Because otherwise, you know that Bloody Queen would be a favorable pick for Alien, because he's very skilled with that. So, that leaves hunters such as, and could be, sure. Breaking Wheel would be really strong, so that would be an option, because he needs that win. Otherwise, let me think, what does Alien play else? Or what could possibly be a good pick? I don't know. We've just been seeing a lot of like Sculptor, Dream Witch, Broken Wheel. I mean, at the same time, we could also expect Dream Witch to be an option, because WLR might say, you know what, I think we can work our way around Dreamwitch. Moonlit is a better map than Lakeside for Dreamwitch, even though it's a big map as well, because it's taking place at like two sides. You have like the two-story side, and then you have like the tent side. It gets divided a bit more, so it's easier for Dreamwitch to maintain pressure. Because usually the game kind of takes place on one side. That's what you see a lot. And if they can kind of lock one side, it's gonna be really hard for the Survivor's Endgame still, even if it's a big map. But, you know, that's just an option if WLR doesn't go ahead and then Dreamwitch, which I kind of expect, but...
I would expect it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
I would say Breaking Wheel would be the best option here, depending on what this team comp is gonna go for. We are gonna see Mechanics here, Psychologist. We are gonna indeed see Dreamwitch and Sculptor being banned as well. What do we have? Chat is saying X-Boy.
yeah, I was thinking X-Boy too. Alien might pull out his X-Boy.
Yeah, that would be... I mean, we've seen Chang Foreman on Moonlight with X-Boy, so it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it is possible against B4U too, if I recall.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the bans, I would say X-Boy would be kind of reasonable. Mechanics, a hard counter. Psychologist can definitely hurt a X-Boy, and of course Seer.
You know, Seer definitely will provide a lot of extra support for any of those kites that decide to go off. Mechanic, Alien's really trying to minimize any catastrophe going on right here. And honestly, it's a really good idea.
I have to read out this comment because I think it's hilarious. From Joanna, watch Alien steal Wax artist from the test server and format them. Yeah, no, definitely. We're gonna see Wax artists.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna see a Wax artist pull out from test server, and you know we're not gonna like ban him from it. We're just gonna straight up, if he can manage to pull Wax artist from test server, then we're just gonna let him use it by all means.
I mean, I don't think I actually don't have the Wax artist set up in the bans just yet, so I'm sorry.
That would have been funny if you did. I'm not gonna lie. That would have been hilarious if you did, Daza.
Yeah, no. I mean, I try to like stay a little bit updated, but I'm not that fast. I still have a job next to this too.
That's true. You do. Daza, you do enough for us. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, thank you. We're just gonna wait for the next character ban. I mean, we have Mercenary and Priestess being picked, but I don't think it's necessary for us to really get into that because I think everyone, and possibly even like people that have been just kind of listening in on this stuff, like don't even have to be really invested into tournaments to know why Mercenary and Priestess are good picks. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time on that. Painter is gonna get banned. Fairly interesting,
wow.
but at the same time, Painter's not a bad character at all.
No, no, absolutely not. Painter definitely being more of an underrated character, and now getting more love in ICL. Have you noticed?
Yeah, no, indeed.
I mean, having that ability to stop the hunter in the tracks, Painter especially is a good counter against Sculptor. But I don't know what WLR might be trying to call out with the Painter. What's it called? Alien will be trying to call out with the Painter banner. Because I guess maybe it's a respect ban. Maybe he's respecting that since WLR has pulled the Painter before.
But think about it. If Alien actually wants to go with Broken Wheel here, it's not necessarily a bad ban. However, I think looking at what is going on here with the bans, we're not going to see Breaking Wheel. I think X-Boy is way more likely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because Alien has some pretty nasty fireballs, I'm not going to lie now. He has landed some pretty sick ones. Uses them as a tracking class, because X-Boy is indeed also a tracking class hunter. Because, you know, those purple fireballs, they snitch out locations, even that of the Explorer, if he does decide to leave the ring of fire. which is why you don't want to leave the Ring of Fire. But Moonlit, like I said, will favor, depending on what side that you said, very pointed out beautifully, that depending on what side that they get chased on, it will determine whether or not this pacing of the game will go in favor of the Survivor or the Hunter.
Yeah,
So-
and I mean, with these bands, these are some really strong characters, but essentially they are a lot of kiting / support and a mechanic, so WLR needs a one-man escape, so they could potentially throw in like a Wildling, for example.
Oh, that thing is hard to chase. You're right.
Yeah,
A
so like,
Wildling would be quite beneficial.
of course, Cypher Rush would be really slow, but and it's gonna be a perfumer and a forward, so it's definitely a chase strong team. It's not gonna be easy to get a quick down on this.
No, absolutely not. A chase-oriented team will mean that the survivors will be punished pretty hard for a fast down. Judging that you see a forward and a mercenary, especially if this yep, there it is, the Axe Boy Alien pulling out an old favorite of the audience right here, seen by Ching, seen by Alien, just Axe Boy. Axe Boy demonstrates a lot. It's like,
I'm really
I'm
excited to see Alien with his ex-boy coming out here.
maybe he can repopularize Axe Boy as well. Who knows? Because I think Axe Boy certainly is underrated. I honestly do.
I mean, I
If you
understand
take
that.
entomologist out of the equation, Axe Boy is 100% underrated as a hunter. Because I don't really see him used too much now. Getting that much
No,
love.
that's true. And he's definitely, I would say, one of the stronger hunters. However, at the same time, it's just, and this is kind of the issue with hunters in general. A lot of hunters lack map pressure. X-Boy, he does have some abilities to like speed himself up with the flames, with the pathing. There is opportunities for them to speed up, but it's not sufficient. He cannot maintain enough map pressure to slow down Cypher Rush, and any hunter that is vulnerable to Cypher Rush is gonna be somewhat weaker. Like, not necessarily bad. I'm not gonna go out here and call him X-Boy a bad hunter, because he's definitely not. But I wouldn't say necessarily underrated, because well, of the fact that he can get Cypher Rushed. He doesn't really have much to work with if he, and I think we've seen this happen in one of the matches in ICL too. X-Boy got a really early down, got the survivor on a really good chair, was on lakeside. It was the chair right across off that exit gate at the big boat site, so it's a horrible chair to rescue from. So what did the survivors do? They opted not to rescue, and the X-Boy kind of wasted some time, because you have to kind of stick around the chair for a bit to make sure that no one's actually coming up. You cannot really move too far, because otherwise you risk someone just coming in to rescue anyway. And for that reason, Hunter not kind of being unsure for a little bit, or well, not really unsure, but kind of have to play it safe there. The survivors managed to get their ciphers done, and they managed to get a draw out of that match. Even though the X-Boy had a really good start, it wasn't even really good. That was an insane start. It was incredibly fast down.
Here's the thing, though. Was there a decoder on that team?
I cannot remember, honestly.
Because this team will be punished if they have a rotate fast down like that. Even if they sell, they have a forward and a mercenary decoding. And that's
No,
gonna
that's
slow them down.
definitely true. They have to do a good opening kite. However, these characters can potentially do work their way around a hunter such as X-Boy. They are equipped to kite for quite a bit. Of course,
They built
Priestess
to run.
is gonna go down eventually if she runs out of portals. Perfumer has to be really wary of those fireballs, because if she gets sniped, she won't be able to use that perfume. So it just leaves the mercenary and the X-Boy who are able to like speed their way out of any trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a very intense match. We see all the marbles on the line for Alien right here, and yeah,
Team Legacy, they're gonna need to pull this back if possible, because Axe Boy, like you said, hasn't been used a lot, and I just hope if anyone can do it though, it is indeed Alien. And I do like to point those things out. He was a very good Axe Boy back in the day. We saw him eliminate very tough teams with him, and we'll see if he's out of practice or not. Because don't forget, inexperience and familiarity is a big key to winning late round. You know what I'm familiar with, like, yeah. So right here we see a bridge spawn in front of 2-story. It's gonna be Survivor directly in front of him, and there's gonna be one to the left of him on tent side, and also not to mention the one on bridge cipher. He's gonna look to see who it is across, and he notices that it is indeed the is that the mercenary? I don't know. It's far away. It's kind of blurry. I think it's the priestess actually.
It's the priestess.
Yeah, it's the priestess. So there it is, the fireball exposing the location of that priestess right there. Alien walking towards 2-story, trying to cut off any sort of routes coming in. But here comes that 2-story loop coming here from this priestess. Not gonna opt to use the portal, probably gonna vault. Yep, gonna vault right away. Alien not even needing to go up the stairs. However, priestess getting very, very much good distance on this axe boy right here. Doesn't see the forward, I don't think. So he's still gonna opt to chase the priestess right here. Actually, he did see the forward, but he's just not gonna. His teleport coming in.
Indeed. Towards Perfumer, definitely your best chase there. Smart to get away from the priestess.
Whoa, that accessory.
Beautiful
that
babe.
accessory? That was beautiful.
That was an amazing babe.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Nice fake out from this perfumer. Perfume is back in use now, but look, gives the free hit without the perfume. This is gonna be huge for Alien right here, and he's definitely gonna keep chasing this perf. Now they're pretty much obsolete with their ability being non-released and basement being nearby. That's definitely key.
Indeed, but they are setting up an escape route for Perfumer.
Up forward is indeed
and the teleport already has been used.
Yes, indeed it is. And forward was there just to make sure Perfumer was able to get out. But it does take a very long time for a Perfumer to heal up. But I don't even think Alien gonna go for that Perfumer? He might have to, honestly. So I'm surprised he didn't push a bridge cipher bridge right there, because he could winding road all the way there. He's gonna opt to chase the forward instead, which is it's a very interesting choice, because he does, like, look, there is a cipher already cleared out of the way. Perfumer is a down target, but with Priestess on top of her, and can chase both of them, but he's gonna opt to chase forward. I guess he knew that he could force forward into a really bad area, because maybe that's what he's trying to do here, and it is working in his favor right now. His forward is in a really bad area. Alien cornering the absolute crap out of him. Make sure that board can do nothing here. Even breaking these
powers.
To
use football once again. Overall, it's not looking too bad. They have one cipher finished, one cipher almost finished. So on cipher progression, they have something to work with. They already started bridge. There was the Perfumer's old cipher. So with that, there is definitely an opportunity for WLR to still get a survivor out of this game. They just have to play their cards safe right now. That's what you want to do. Don't want to take any unnecessary risks, especially not against a hunter like Alien, which is exactly what they're opting to do, going for the portal instead, getting a clean save.
There's the body block again. Beautiful body block by WLR's Priestess right there, giving forward that additional distance and able to make this window vault. Alien not having blink or anything makes sure that this chase will go on for much longer than it needs to be, unfortunately for him.
I mean, you do have to keep in mind, forward doesn't have any football left, so he's very vulnerable here.
Yeah, absolutely, that's true. And look at that. Actually, Priestess using that tag team. Oh, nice fireball. Very nice fireball by Alien right there. Priestess used that portal to get forward right back into 2-story. Look at communication in the VR right there. But Forward is going to die on a cipher. Very unfortunate. But like I said, you said they needed a 4-man. They can opt to sacrifice this forward right here.
and get their ciphers
I
figured
mean,
out.
the forward, of course, did die on Priestess's cipher. It was not necessarily the lost cipher. There's barely any progress onto it, and the ciphers on the other side of the map have far more progress onto them.
Since Alien does need a 4-man, he's gonna need to pressure up this chair, and they are gonna rescue this forward, surprisingly. I thought they were gonna opt to decode because they can at least get one person. They will be cipher. It is an axe boy, he doesn't have much map presence. And he's going for a fireball, but he does miss the fireball right there. Look, they're doing body block dances right here, missing 2 hits. And Mercenary's gonna be able to block
Wow,
another
getting the
hit.
body block off once again and now blocking the doorway. But it's not going to do much against an exploit. Does buy a little time. Mercenary, beautiful elbow pad to get back. He's going to try his best to keep the forward alive, but it's not enough. The Cypher's not trying that. I'm not quite sure why the Mercenary went down to try and stall heal here.
Yeah, that was not worth it right there. Now he has Merc in his sights. But however, like you said, Alien does need a 4-man to tie this up because if not, this game will go to WLR. Here comes the fireball. Can he get it? He lands it. Dungeon's not here. Alien can opt to teleport to the other gate.
But he's not trying to do so. He's going to wait for a bit.
Yes,
knowing probably that the survivors are going to hop off of the gate if he stays with the Mercenary because he just can't tell them. But Perfumer is still at the Is Alien gonna be able to turn this around? Mercenary and Perfume are both slow at healing, so it comes down to the Priestess here.
Absolutely. This is all going to be up to the Priestess. Can she make it back to Merc in time? Merc can indeed use self-heal, so it's not too much of a hassle for them right there. But what will need to happen is that... Okay, so Priestess is going to opt to go to the gate instead, knowing that Mercer can pick himself up. But that gate is barely gone. And wait,
Priestess is taking a huge risk here.
Massive gamble. Alien already at the gate, not able to get the gate open right here.
This could potentially be a 4-man elimination. Mercenary does still have an elbow pad, so he can potentially rescue Perfumer. But if Alien plays his card right, and WLR makes a mistake here, it could still result in a 4-man elimination.
That's true. However, Mercenary will make that rescue, unfortunately, and Alien...
He's trying to use his elbow pad. It's a really smart move. Alien does not have teleport up just yet. Priestess is doing an amazing job kiting. It's gonna go down here, but this bought enough time for the Mercenary to get over to the Perfumer, which is exactly what the Priestess needed to do. So I really have to give it to the Priestess here for doing such an amazing job kiting.
There's a tie from WLR right there. And that's going to mean that WLR will be taking the this victory. And so
that means that WLR is the first team to be confirmed to play in the finals tomorrow.
Oh wow, WLR, beautiful job. They're taking this home. They're taking it, and it's well deserved too. Their survivors had so much passion and just overall willpower to go for wins, even though their situation looks very bleak. And honestly, they deserve it. WLR has worked so hard, and it shows. As you can see, going against Team Legacy, and just wow. Honor survivors equally working super hard to get this, and I love to see new faces on top, and definitely WLR is one that I'm going to be watching for sure.
Definitely. Such an amazing job. First confirmed finalist in the second season of ICL, and once again, a team that has only been around for just a few months.
Legacy being reigning champions, being dethroned by it's a David and Goliath story, definitely.
Definitely. Let me see. I think we will have to take a short intermission here to get the Fusion members in here to give Legacy a little bit of a break because they have to play 2 matchups right after another, which is very taxing because we know these streams go up to 4 hours, so that's 4 hours of playing for them. So we are going to give them a little bit of a break here to just get some water, which is definitely something you guys should do too. Get yourself a nice glass of water, stay hydrated, get yourself a little snack if you haven't eaten yet. Very important too, because health comes first. So we're gonna just take a little break and we'll be back in probably around 10 minutes or so.
All right, see y'all then.
Okay.
Ooh, that game was crazy.
That was.
I was just like, oh my god, I did not expect that to happen. Alien and Baby Life,
Yeah.
But man, that game took so long to get underway. I was like, okay, it's gonna start.
I'm so hungry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Get a little snack of easier they are.
Thank you. I will once I set up the stream for next round. So it's Legacy versus Fusion?
Yeah.
Something centered? No, it's not. Every time I hope. That's the best for
Never
me.
change.
Never what?
Never change.
Oh.
Never change.
Thank you. First round, first half. I think that's everything. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'll be right back.
Wait, were you guys talking to me? I was doing the coin flip.
Yeah, no, it's alright. Yeah, I'm gonna be right back.
Oh, that's fine. Oh! They can still hear us?
Wow.
I'm being chat and you're saying they can still hear us. Hey, what's up everyone? I didn't know it. Yeah, it's kind of a bro moment. Not the keyboard ASMR. I know I type aggressively. I'm gonna go on mute for a second. I'll be back. I'll
Oh,
take
no. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the second part of today's games. And this time we have Fusion versus Legacy. And as we saw, Legacy unfortunately did not prevail against WLR. And they did indeed go down, but not to count them out because they certainly stand a chance. But however, Fusion, also a team not to be messed with, is also going to provide them quite a challenge. I'm quite excited to see how this unfurls. And what do you guys think? Who do you guys got money on? You got money on Fusion? Got money on Legacy? What do you guys think? Do y'all think that Legacy can pull back from their tragic losses and get this win against Fusion? Or do you think one loss is just too much to bear? Let's see how things will go for these two teams today. And I'm honestly really excited to see how it unfurls. And I'm really sorry, you guys, for the long wait, but we were getting bans and there were other complications going on. But hey, we are back. There's no need to worry about it. And instantly, we have a psychologist and a mechanic lock. Not much I need to explain there. You guys know it. You guys know the drill. On a map like Arms Factory especially, mechanic can be hidden quite well amongst all of the nice rotating type areas. You got psychologist, that's a meat shield. And then you got Forward and Gravekeeper that are solid picks since Mercenary and Seer are indeed the bans. Because this team will be going for a very strong start, very safe start. The only person being feasible to chase will be the mechanic. And we're seeing a Dream Witch go off here in Arms Factory. A Dream Witch has great advantages because she's concealed by all the terrain. There are high walls where you cannot see her. And there are so many areas where she can just trap you in, squeezing you in like a sandwich pretty much. And and the only thing, this is the sandwich you do not want, guys. This is not the Subway $5 foot long special, y'all. This is one deadly sandwich. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, no, definitely Arms Factory, really tricky map against Dream Witch. Generally speaking, Arms Factory is quite more of a tight kind of map. It is honestly, in my opinion, probably the most balanced map we have in this game. Has some good kiting areas at the same time. Definitely also is some potential options for hunters to either put pressure on ciphers. There is some relatively weak cipher spawns. It kind of leaves things in the middle, and it comes down to how the hunter can utilize that map. As for the survivors, communication is going to be key, especially against the Dream Witch. You'll have to make sure what ciphers you want to pop first, what ciphers you don't want to touch at all, because that's also relatively important. You want to definitely get that middle cipher out of the way as quickly as possible, because otherwise it will just mean that Ching is going to get a whole lot of pressure on that map. But if you manage to get that cipher down and make sure to spread out your final cipher machines, especially considering they have their mechanic too, it does leave some options for them.
The more options you have, the safer your games are better off coming along and piecing together. So I'm not gonna lie, on Arms Factory, a Dream Witch is very dangerous to deal with. So it's a very solid pick. The Hunter, however. But you see, these are very strong survivors. If they can keep their mechanic hidden, it's going to be very ideal for them, because mechanic is indeed a very powerful tool for these survivors to secure tie or greater. And it's going to be the Hunter's priority to chase. Like I said, Psychologist is a meat shield. May I need to digress about Forward and Gravekeeper? They're pretty much all the same thing. This is a very anti-Dream Witch team comp, especially because if the Dream Witch does end up using a leech to hit somebody and their main body is far away from the survivor, the Psychologist can get the heal off in time on their teammate, and it will reset back to 0 on what the Dream Witch needs to do. And should the Dream Witch choose to say Psychologist, same thing goes there. Psychologist can take 2 hits, and either way, survivors are in a very advantageous position. Psychologist, of course, being a pretty broken character right now, because she gets rewarded for almost doing nothing. Your team gets rewarded for the Psychologist being out of sight of the Hunter. And Psychologist also has 3 hits. So if Psychologist gets hit early, it's not going to matter nearly as much as it would for like any other character, which also makes her quite a nuisance to deal with. So overall, Dreamwood should not be chasing the psychologist, but you know, hey. You admire Ching's Dreamwitch. Yeah, Ching's Dreamwitch is very good. He's very disciplined with it. Very good experience.
Dreamwitch is insane. Getting that factory spawn is going straight to Shack. Shack definitely one of the weaker areas in this map. There's definitely opportunities for you to transition there, but if Ching can get the leech in the way so this psychologist cannot get to triple bell, it definitely leaves some opportunities to trap in the survivor. However, psychologist, we already said it, is able to take that extra hit, so it is gonna be relatively tricky for Dreamwitch to deal with that.
Yeah, psychologist is gonna get the hit right here. However, Dreamwitch is gonna need to expand a little more than one trait to deal with them, but it looks like the Dreamwitch right here will opt to
Ching was unable to get that block off in time, so psychologist is going to be able to take that window, is going to be able to get away from Shack.
Yeah, getting away from Shack is going to be key right here because Blink. So it looks like Ching's not going to use Patroller, but instead Blink. And misses that hit right there, too. Using a Blink and missing is huge for Ching right here because that's one less Blink he can use to kill his target. However, nice bait by him switching off right there to give that false sense of security for that psychologist. And
there's the sandwich
and the block off 2 free hits given by the psychologist. Wow. Go ahead, Dozen.
Yeah, beautiful sandwich from Ching right there. And you have to keep in mind, Ching, I kind of talked about this earlier too, Dreamwitch, early game, not at her strongest, but what you want to do as a Dreamwitch is build out your game towards that end game, and that's something that Ching excels at. You have to keep in mind, coming in with that blink right away, this is also partially the reason why Seer was being banned, most likely, but that does leave the option for Ching to go abnormal or teleport later into the game.
That's true. Patroller being usually a safer pick and a less risky one when it comes to playing especially a first round Dreamwitch is a lot safer. Ooh, this is that. Yeah, it was key that missed that one too. It was key that psychologist escapes the Shack because if they get basement here, it's gonna be very, very bad for the survivors. So psychologists just passing as long as they can, getting far away from Shack as possible. But we're gonna see if Ching can drag them all the way to basement. Indeed, looks like he's not gonna opt to do that. He's gonna chair in front to force any sort of rescue to come out right now. But survivors are in a really good position. They don't really need to. Oh, nice.
Gets the shuffle off just in time. Beautiful job. Also, you can see that the robot cipher is close to popping. So we're going to be left with only one cipher remaining once this psychologist is going to go off chair.
Who is Engine Battle? Is that CMX? Nice stun by the forward right there. Very good job by Alex getting that out of the way. And honestly, the psychologist is still not, unfortunately, in a very good kiting area. So Ching did a very good job carrying them out of chair where the kiting spots are not too crazy so that the survivors can't get like a strong rebound going, but gets mixed up by the trails right there. Might lose the psych. Nope, finds the psych right here. One cipher is remaining, and all they need to do is down this psych, and they'll be set for a tie. But I don't know. We do have a forward in play, and forward having almost all of his resources will make sure that this chase goes off. And Ching, very patient, very nice mind games like Ching right there. And the cipher is going underway and is only halfway done. Can forward last long enough and pull enough harass? Here comes the blink technique. Yep, I figured Ching's gonna do this to secure his tie as much as he can, and now he's gonna pressure up Sandbag. Like Gaza said, abnormal is possible, so if he gets an abnormal off right here, it's gonna be very detrimental to him. But look, there's the pop. There's gonna be no abnormal in play. There's gonna be blink in play, but we don't know if Ching will opt to switch to teleport or use blink to kill her target quickly.
I mean, teleport, it is possible, however, it's not necessarily what's gonna save Ching the game. There is only 2 leeches on the game. There's the mechanics leech and then there's the main body leech, so that does leave Ching with only so much flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Ching can only do so much here. There's the tie. But can they stop the mechanic? There's a win! Team Legacy against Ching right there. Dungeon being exactly where it needed to be.
For the wrong gate, checking the gate where no one was at, letting those three survivors get out of the gate. Beautiful job from Legacy. They definitely managed to pull themselves together.
That's amazing. Legacy not being deterred by their current loss and just playing to their fullest on this match as well. Very good job. Few makes being given to Ching, as you know, that if you give Ching mistakes, he's literally going to profit really hard off of them. Because Ching's punishment game is top notch. But wow, Legacy leaving no opportunity whatsoever. Checking the wrong gate overall made this fall into the hands of the survivor, especially because Mechanic reaches him right away. That was crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, definitely really well done from Legacy. Just like I said, managing to pull themselves together. They had a really rough time going up against Fafa, getting 2 times 4-man elimination, and then in the final round, a 3-man elimination, even though they had that beautiful roller coaster play. So it was really rough for Legacy to go into this round on that first round, especially, like I said, they have to play 2 matchups today, which is a lot of playing. It's a lot of hours to put into this game in one go. So definitely the fact that they managed to get it together and get that win in the first round against no other than Ching's Dream Witch. Really well done.
That is no easy feat, Daza. That is not easy to do. And Legacy definitely showing that they will not be deterred from winning this title. A dynamic start from Team Legacy right there, putting a lot of pressure here on Fusion survivors.
I am really curious to see what is going to go down in this second matchup. So we will have probably Alien playing again, and Fusion needs to get a 4-man out if they want to win this round. I'm going to be honest, I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible against a hunter like Alien, because in most cases, unless a hunter, because there are exceptions, but most cases, a hunter will always get one down. Especially like a hunter such as Alien. They have every hunter to their, that they might like, is available right now, there's no bans or anything, so Alien can just pick whatever. So for that reason, you can be sure 100% that there is going to be at least one elimination. The only exceptions, of course, because we have seen this happen in ICL 2, that sometimes hunters give up the 4-man escape, for example, is when they kind of have to play all or nothing. So they could potentially get one down, but because they have to play for a win and cannot play it safe, it sometimes does not work out, and then they get a 4-man escape. So that's one of the things we sometimes see happen on the hunter side when a 4-man escape takes place, but once again, Arms Factory, it is Alien in the first round. I don't think it is possible to get a 4-man escape. So the best thing Fusion can do here is try to go for that 3-man escape.
Which is still very difficult to go against a hunter like Alien especially. And Ching did unfortunately miss the blinks. Yeah, Spanish Roach, I'd say that was a mistake, but Ching ended up getting 2 free hits, getting 2 hits without needing blink after that. So it wasn't too big of a mistake. His biggest mistake was checking the wrong game.
Yeah, and of course there was the lack of leeches in the end. Like I said, there was only 1 leech apart from the main leech. So that also means that Ching doesn't have the map pressure that he could have in the end game.
Yeah, definitely. And that also leaves a lot of room for survivors to work with when there's not a lot of leeches. The pressure, it's leech pressure that usually wins the game for hunter like.
Yeah, indeed. So, but yeah, Legacy, or not Legacy, sorry, once again. Fusion, what's going to be really important for them is their communication needs to be top notch. Knowing Alien, knowing how he plays, if their communication is not top notch, they are not gonna survive against Alien, because the main issue is, and also we already started the band, so we do have a mechanic band and we do have board and steer being locked in. But anyway, what I wanted to say, Alien is really strong in that chase. How many times have you seen Alien getting kited in ICL?
Female dancer. We're seeing a female dancer from Team
Wow.
here.
Finally,
definitely
a female dancer. Female dancer did get her buff, and she got significantly stronger because her ability lets her dodge attacks so much better. So she doesn't have to rely on juking. She can get quite a bit of distance with that ability. And from there on, kind of sort of escape the hunter when she is getting caught in kind of sticky situation, especially against a Dream Witch, for example. You have to think like when she would get sandwiched, for example.
And there it is, Notorious Alien Sculptor here on Arms Factory. Arms Factory also being a very good map for Sculptor because she can block off all those doorways, pallets, and key essential kiting areas, bread and butter kiting areas for these survivors. Bending Mechanic and Mercenary are very good picks because, you know, if he has a Mercenary rescue off him for free, it's going to cost him a lot. Because Sculptor definitely benefits and gains a lot of momentum from her camping because she does have that chisel to pressure rescues. She has that map pressure to make sure that even though they do not rescue, that she's not completely wasting time. So Sculptor being a very powerful pick for that is going to be essential.
Yes, exactly. I'm really curious to see how they are going to utilize Dancer against Sculptor, because obviously they know that Alien is going to play Sculptor first round. We have always seen a first round Sculptor from Legacy. So I definitely expect them to know that they were going to deal with the Sculptor here. So that's also why we see someone like Coordinator indeed being able to use the gun to pull off potential rescue, kind of some distance, can of course get blocked by the statue, so it is gonna be hard for the Coordinator to make that work, but I'll be honest, I'm mainly curious to see what this Dancer is gonna do. Dancer is having a easier time dodging statues if she can utilize these music boxes. Because she has
her twist and turn as well, Pezza. Her twists and turns.
Yeah, indeed.
She can spin right past those statues. I've seen it happen actually. Quite cool.
No, it's definitely very useful against a Sculptor, but we haven't seen it a lot, or I think we haven't seen it at all in ICL so far. So I am hoping for a Dancer kite here.
An opening kite by a dancer would definitely spice things up. As we know, meta is a very popular, obvious choice to go for in these tournaments. But when you see off meta and you see them do well, oh, that's when the gameplays get really exciting.
Coming in.
Here we go. We got Alien spawning near Shack. He's gonna push towards, not spawning near Shack, but it's on near, going towards Shack. My bad. And he's going to find Polars, which is the Coordinator, around Shack area, which is a pretty ideal target for a Sculptor. That gun, however, being in play, but Alien can easily use his statues to block off Coordinator shots. And Coordinator just using that statue to boost across and go right back to Shack. The Alien cutting off Shack. Given the free hit right here, I'm thinking a shot right there would have been perfectly safe. He did use statue. You do realize that Sculptor has a long hit type animation, and basement is Shack, so players will be opting to get away from it. It looks like a broken Windows Coordinator. So anticipating to be chased right here was the Coordinator. Also, again, using the statue to guide him right back into the kiting area. Alien doing a good job feinting on that owl and not actually hitting it, not giving the survivors any sort of value or distance, and just keeping the pressure tight. Pushing Factory will indeed be safe.
Beautiful fight from Alien!
Beautiful job. There's the guard on the shot right there.
That was at the very last second that Alien managed to put down that statue. Beautiful job.
and they're gonna chair right in the center of the map nearish. So now they have pressure on multiple locations. But here comes the stun. A little greedy right there. I'd say going directly for the chair would have been a better idea to guarantee the safe stun. But the forward there did want to get a little more distance, trying to use half football side quarter for that stun. However, it was a little greedy and ended up getting a hit because of it. But Alien not going to get this down. But there it is, the down. Going to blindly throw it at that pallet and going to end up getting profit off of it. Pushing Factory is not the best idea considering Dancer's Cypher is right there. Alien's going to, interestingly enough, take him away from Factory.
It's gonna actually chair him on the forward Cypher once again, knowing that this forward is injured, so we'll have to push out early.
Well, that's actually a really good idea then. But yeah, we did have
Dancer. Basically pushes 2 survivors off of the Cypher machine. So the forward, you could throw the graveyard ability, and if they want to rescue, that means also that someone has to come off their Cypher machine. So definitely puts Alien in a favorable position because this slows down Cypher Rush.
And anything that slows down Cypher Rush is beneficial towards Alien right now.
So that does mean that the coordinator is eliminated. Link coming in on the forward, still injured from that rescue. Does have half football left, but
not going to be able to use it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that full presence is going to be really tricky. Also, these music boxes are being destroyed, so that does mean that Female Dancer cannot pick them up anymore, leaving her with only 1 music box.
And a dream. 1 music box and a dream.
1 music box and a dream, indeed.
And they're going to be chaired over at Factory Ruin. I honestly think Alien's doing this just to establish location of the dungeon right now, because he's already determined that it is not indeed at middle. So I'm guessing he now knows that it is indeed back shack. So he's eliminating his options, I'm pretty sure. Besides, that's not a bad chair to get chaired on, because he will have pretty good overall presence of the on the map by doing this. Because but there's the free rescue. Coming off by Dancer. Yeah, come off by Dancer. And Dancer's here, gonna put that last box, but does not eat the body block and does not get the box off either. So Dancer lost all value of coming for this rescue now. Is about to go down too by the wrath of these statues. Here's the last one. Gets the down. Wow. Absolutely amazing by Alien right there. Punishing Dancer for going for that rescue. And just overall showing that if they do not get value out of it, that he indeed will. Because now the survivors are in a very tight situation where Seer's the only one that's up. And he does not need to... Alien does not need to chair the Dancer. But he will do so anyway. I mean, he's making...
does know the Seer's location, does know what Cypher machine Seer was working on.
That's true.
So this is actually relatively smart because now due to the fact that Alien picked up the Female Dancer, the Female Dancer could not pick herself up to get a close rescue on the forward. So it just guarantees that the forward would be eliminated regardless if Female Dancer picked herself up or not.
Which honestly works out in the end for Alien. Because if taking the Female Dancer far away from it, just in case the Cypher was primed, he wasn't taking any risks, and he was making sure that if that were to happen, that they would be far enough away where the rescue said. But it's just not going to be able for these two to get out unless the Cypher goes off. At least maybe one person get it out at most. But as of now, it's not looking too good because
I honestly think this is going to be a 4-man elimination. The Cypher machine is not even at 20%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Female Dancer already self-picked. Female Dancer is going to go down here probably soon. Only 1 chip away. Here we sadly have that.
But I don't know if it's gonna do all that much because Alien is already on him, and in this confined area, unfortunately, this is gonna be a 4-man elimination. The biggest misstep being that rescue from that Dancer, honestly, they did get hard punished. and they threw away all chances of a one-man right there. That Dancer did not end up getting value out of their rescue, and just that costed them the game.
Exactly.
And also,
Legacy
to point out
really
the
went
forward.
in and said, "We lost once. It's not gonna happen again."
Yeah, for real. I'm really proud of Legacy right here, pulling it together. I know it's not hard to go on after losing something majorly important like, a tournament gameplay. But man, they definitely were really good at shaking it off. Like, shake it off. We can do this. And as you can see, they're very much doing it and doing so beautifully.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. We've seen this from Alien a lot. Like I said, getting the 3-man escape is already gonna be really hard for Fusion to pull this off. And they really tried. This is one of the reasons why the forward went to go rescue the first time. Because what you generally see a lot is that people will settle for a draw, and that they will just let the chair run out in order to make sure that the hunter does not get too much presence. They did try to kind of play it safe because they did send the forward for that stun on chair, but like Miki said, they got a little greedy. They did not get the stun off. Alien was able to hit them out of that dash, and for that reason, that it's just an extra hit, and the fact that the coordinator couldn't get her gun off because that absolutely amazing flare gun block from Alien there. It was beautiful. But it does mean that the coordinator was not able to utilize her items. It does mean that the forward is going to get injured on the first rescue. Regardless, the rescue worked out, so it was not a bad rescue, essentially, but it was not enough for what they needed there. And then Alien going back, cheering on the forward side for pushing him away, getting that graveyard onto where both the forward and the female dancer were, slowing down Cypherfresh even more, and then in the end what you see is that they missed that one Cypher machine.
Yeah, that last Cypher machine not having any sort of progress on it whatsoever did cost them the match because, as we saw, it is very difficult to go against, especially on Arms Factory 2, where the maps are relatively small. It's very difficult to close out that last against a Sculptor because they have such good watch and presence over everything. That is what.
So right now we're just gonna wait for Legacy to pick the map, and then we will go straight into the bands.
Yeah, what do you think Legacy's gonna opt to pick here, Daza?
Oh, they actually just picked, so
Oh.
I'm not gonna say anything for now.
Alright, well,
I'm
thinking, I don't know. For me, I'm thinking we have to make an estimate on whether or not they want Alien to excel or the Survivors to excel or both. So, I don't know. We haven't seen Hospital yet, so I'm thinking Hospital?
Hospital?
Is it possible? Because I know Leo's is a map that no one likes to go on.
I mean, Legacy actually picked it once. They actually went ahead and picked Leo's the other day.
The other day? When was that? I didn't see that. I think I was busy that day, but Leo's is a very interesting map, honestly. Like, even I saw in the comments earlier today, someone said that the Chinese commentators refer to Leo's as the cursed map. I guess a lot of people like.
I mean, it's kind of fair, especially. It's just hard to hunt on that map. Like, there's a lot of obstacles, so most of your meta hunters, they do not excel at this map. So breaking
Not
wheel,
to mention your blinks get caught
great.
on every.
Yeah, Dream Wedge, not great. Sculptor can work out. So if you go Leos and you opt to go Sculptor first round, you could make it work. But then the opponent obviously also could do that. So it's not foolproof.
No, not at all. Because I have plenty of unfortunate experiences with my blink getting caught on like a barrel in Leos especially, and we all see hunters sometimes fail their blinks on like some of the walls because of these little obstacles. Like Leos is just. Hunter doesn't ban Priestess on Hospital. I mean, if they're confident with their Jace, like I've seen plenty of them not banning what's it called? There's always she's fine doing in what was I gonna say? I think I just lost. Thank God. But yeah, Blink does not really like honestly in this map out of experience when I played Hunter, Blink always gets caught on something else not there. And all the other maps, it's like Red Church, it works. Like Lakeside, it works. Hell, even Hospital works. But as soon as you go to Leo's, my Blink just gets caught. Like honestly, I don't really like Leo's either. I mean, in the Survivor sense, I'd say it's alright, but there's also those. So I don't really know Leo's that well. But you know, I like the scenery, and that's pretty much all I like about Leo's.
That's fair. That's fair.
Alright, we're going on the way with the band now. And yeah. It sounds like I'm typing a book report because my friends always make this joke that when I'm on VC with them, they're like, "Who's typing the Bible?" And it's usually me.
Yeah. No, I mean I do type a lot during ICL too, for the fact that I do have to manage some stuff in the background because usually we have Jules or Warden as our referees, but they are also from Europe, so they do have to. Yeah, they are sleeping, as far as I know. So that's why I kind of have to keep an eye on that because obviously Eli and Mayhem are not able to do so because they are with Legacy and with Fusion. So to keep it all unbiased, I'm making sure to run that stuff in the background myself too.
I gotcha. Alright,
which is why I'm a bit distracted, so sorry if I suddenly am silent, and sorry, Miki, if I let you do all the work.
No, absolutely not. I need to help you out every now and then, and what the heck, it's Moonlit? Okay.
Yeah, no, sure.
So they're gonna ban Ching's Dream Witch, however, we do know that. Wait, what is that? It's blurry AF for me, like my qualities. Is that?
That is a Dream Witch ban, and then Mechanic
Okay,
and Mercenary being banned, and then we have the Forward and Seer coming in.
Very locked, alright. So, the Mercenary and Mechanic ban are very good picks for Ching because Ching is going to be trying to secure as many points as possible. For this, considering that Legacy does take round 1 against Fusion, so Ching's like trying to, alright, you know what, 1 round, it's okay, we can shake it off, we can win this. So Ching, we're going to most likely see his Breaking Wheel or his Sculptor, because we do know that he does play very, very good wheel, very patient with his traps, very accurate, and I'm surprised though. I don't think that wheel has much problems with Merc, so I'm thinking it's more towards Sculptor. And also Seer provides huge problems for wheel, considering you can get 2 traps, and Seer can just owl and waste like a little more time. When you take away that possibility, it's usually like we see this being taken away from like other hunters. Like a lot of hunters rank also like to ban Seer and Merc usually when they go against wheel, because Seer is very obnoxious for a wheel to deal with. So it might not be a wheel after all. Maybe his Sculptor, I don't know, but Ching can pull anything out of sleeve. Dream Witch is not the only thing he plays, of course. And let's not forget, Ching was notorious for being like an amazing in formatting a team such as B4U on it. The third band's gonna be Gravekeeper, definitely looking like a wheel, because if you ban a Gravekeeper, then there's really no other hunter that gains value as much as a Gravekeeper will if by banning.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm pretty
indeed.
sure it's-
I mean, I think there is like some stuff, but that's like really situational, and there's better bans for other, well, for other hunters. I mean, Gravekeeper in itself is not a bad character, and with both Mercenary and Gravekeeper out of the way, you kinda lower their rescue potential. Of course, they can still go something like First Officer, but we don't really see First Officer a lot. And they might instead go with, for example, Perfumer. Wouldn't be too weird of a pick here.
No, absolutely. Perfumer would be a solid pick because we saw Perfumer countered a wheel such as All for One wheel, and All for One is amazing. That very much surprised me when I saw that. Like, I think it was Team Sus. Yeah, Team Sus.
Mm-hmm.
All for One wheel, and they did very well.
Yeah, no, Sus did an amazing job against All for One's Wheel, and for that reason, I am still quite sad not to see Sus returning for the season. I'm not sure how active they are, but they did put up some amazing games, and I think they almost managed to win against Legacy too, if it wasn't for how some of the final rounds essentially went down. So I'm really sad to not see them back for this season, but teams come and teams go. That's kind of how it goes in NAU.
Yeah, unfortunate. We also had a hunter like Tyrone drop out of Fusion, which was unfortunate for them because Tyrone did provide a lot of
Oh yes, Tyrone was an amazing hunter. We are gonna see Priestess. Oh, and there's the Postman again. There
and
is
the Postman is back into play. All right, we're gonna see Legacy if they can indeed shake it off and be like, all right, let's go back for our Postman. Last time it didn't work out so well with them against Fafa Soul Weaver, but let's see how it works out against Ching's Sculptor. Okay, that's I don't know about Gravekeeper ban for a Sculptor because Sculptor doesn't do kind of counter because she can just pin them down with those statues. Maybe Ching just doesn't.
I mean, maybe what they opted to go for was to kind of try to throw somewhat of a curveball. That maybe what's going on. Kind of, hey, I'm gonna get Gravekeeper out of there. I mean, Gravekeeper's not necessarily an awful ban for Sculptor, as he can use that dig to get closer to chair. It has that increased movability, so it is going to be a little harder to place those statues. Does have that increased rescue speed, so it's going to be a little harder. But it's nothing that a good sculptor cannot time correctly. So for that reason, Gravekeeper's not really a counter. So I'm kind of like considering maybe it was a bit of a curveball, but still Ching opted to go with Sculptor instead, which I think is definitely the smartest option in that case. Still, Breaking Wheel wouldn't have been a bad pick, I think.
Breaker would have been an excellent, honestly, especially on a map like Moonlit where your best windows are usually in pretty bad catching areas like 10 behind 10 and 2-story, which is only a window that we use once, and by then Breaker will be cut off out from then. So, did you guys know that this Legacy guy is currently first postman? So Legacy's postman's first postman? Oh, that's pretty interesting.
I mean, to be fair, Legacy is the only team so far in ICL who has been using the postman, but at the same time, from all the teams we've seen so far, I think Legacy gets the most inspiration from ICL. So they were the ones who picked onto postman. They were also last season the ones who first picked on to the prisoner. So we can definitely see that Legacy keeps a very close eye on what happens on the other servers.
Yeah, and that can honestly be really good for them. It can honestly prove to have a lot of strategies stand out for them and just gives them a lot to work with. Legacy obviously being a team that I noticed.
Ooh, it seems like Ching is going for that 3-stack on Control Freak.
What? Interesting. I've never seen that on a sculptor. I guess he's estimating that he's predicting a strategy that Legacy will be sacrificing their teammate, and that Control Freak is going to be there, so he wastes as little time as possible camping fast. But here we have the Seer being found, and here it's green, and near the Priestess, and it says a portal all the way to Bridge Cipher, which is really nice. Green
So
now having
really
access.
smart from Chi to actually approach the Seer from the portal, because the portal was definitely set up to give the Seer an escape route. So cutting off that, forcing the Seer to go here, landing that chip hit too, it is very good of a start for Ching, but they do have to make it work here. Of course, Seal has that owl to work with. Is gonna bait it out
There's
here.
the owl. Wow, I didn't, you blinked, you would have missed that. You blinked that owl, you would have missed that. And also, here comes the Priestess setting up yet another portal for Green. Green taking this escape really nicely. Chain not respecting that portal whatsoever. Usually see portal respects, especially those kind of portals where you try to wait for survivor mind games or not. But Green opted to run right through it. And Chain paid off for disrespecting that portal right there. And he will catch this Seer lacking, and we'll put him out working carousel, which is where there's a good amount of pressure can be established. As you see, a Cypher being worked on by 10. A chisel could be thrown there to stop the postman's progress from going off. And not to mention having eyes on him too. Well, unfortunately, not getting the best value out of one order right there. But as you see tonight, flashes up and wow! What a stun
all the
from
way
Alex
from
right
that
there.
chair.
Oh my goodness gracious, a free rescue for that forward and pushes the crap out of that sculptor. Like, yeet, shoved him right into that wall. Wow, what a rescue by Alex right there. There's the chip going off on Green. Green trying to predict another statue right there. Unfortunately, it did not pay off for him as Ching did not opt to go for that. He will not make that portal, I knew it. Because, as well as it was a good attempt, an attempt was made, it was a good attempt. But Sculptor is just a little fast, especially taking that route around the pilot where they did not opt to break it. It made it a lot easier to get there. But unfortunately, being checked on Bridge Cypher, which is gonna cause, which is between two Cyphers because they also have Postman Cypher by intent once more being worked on again. So between two Cyphers is never a good thing. It's already bad enough if you're between one Cypher because that decoding progress is immediately slowed down significantly. But what happens is that by chairing on two different Cyphers, the Cyphers should slow down even more so, which would put the survivors in a quite disadvantageous. However, it's looking quite good for Ching right now. Like Daza said, full control freak will indeed benefit or work in his favor.
Yeah, so what also is really tricky here is that the Bridge Cipher is not popped yet. It has a lot of progression, so they can definitely just not let that Cipher be. But Priestess is the only one who can really actually decode that Cipher, since Forward only has half football left. Did that beautiful stun, but right now it does leave him a little more vulnerable because he doesn't have that much to work with. So Priestess is the one who needs to finish that Cipher machine ideally, which is exactly what she's doing here. Also got the decoding letter from the postman, so she is gonna get that little speed boost. So in the end, it still did work out because the Bridge Cipher is not a lot of routes she can go to actually secure a safe kite, which is only why the Priestess is able to do so, because she can put that portal and put a lot of distance and get to that kiting area right there with the triple pellet.
Yeah, absolutely.
But instead, it's gone down the postman. Beautiful teleport, realizing that postman was decoding that cipher. It did get popped, so we do see that the forward is currently decoding the final cipher, which is around safe, a little more than 50%.
More than 50% cipher is pretty good for them in this situation.
It really comes down to what the priestess can do here. Is she gonna able to pull off this rescue or not? She does not have tie turner, by the way, so you do have to keep that in mind. This has to be... She cannot get stuffed.
Absolutely.
She has to get this off, and Ching obviously knows
She's
this.
getting stuffed. Yep, there's the stuff, but there's the pop! And unfortunately, that chair is not that... She's not that close to that chair. She's gonna get stuffed right here, I'm pretty sure. Nope. Indeed gets our way, but can he kill them both? If he kills them both, they're going to be in a really bad position. But he's choosing to chase the priestess, which is smart because she's one chip away. But this gives Postman time to escape and get out of range of the.
Ooh, try to avoid the portal,
Whoa.
could not actually manage to do so.
Portal to pallet stun. What a stun right here. Ching losing all opportunity of a win now because that postman is gone, and Indeed's trying to rendezvous with the forward over there. And we see the priestess getting chased all the way here, and there's the down right there. Teleport's the wrong gate. Yeah, all attempts of a win have been thrown away by Ching right here, unfortunately, by not being able to kill that postman and that priestess. That dog, very significant event from that postman right there to make sure that Ching will not be able to taste both of them. But there's the tie coming off right there by Team Legacy. Teleport being expired and everything. Postman will indeed make it a gate, making this 8.
Wow, that was. I mean, and that is the risk we see a lot with teleporting. Obviously, one of the reasons that Ching could have gone for that gate rather than the other one is Priestess does pick herself up rather quickly, so Ching was very time bonded. And for that reason, going to the other gate would definitely have resulted in Priestess picking herself up and potentially going for the other gate because obviously teleport's not in play. So that's one of the risks, and that's also probably something that Legacy saw not risk the other gate. Just go to forwards gate. It was already being worked on, and Priestess did a beautiful job buying time. It was looking really risky at that point. It was definitely looking like Ching could potentially get that 3-man elimination, but Priestess making it work despite getting stuffed originally for that rescue away from the chair. Beautiful job, beautiful turnaround from Legacy's Priestess.
Yeah, absolutely. Legacy did indeed pull it around. Chat is saying that teleport looks like it was a misfire, like an accidental teleport. I don't know.
Honestly, no, I don't think it was an accident. I
don't
think
think it was
if someone was at that gate, at that point it was Ching's only opportunity for a guaranteed 3-man because, like I said, the other gate would have meant that the priestess was going to be able to self pick, and if you have the forward still have a football, so he could dash away from the gate, could potentially stall a little bit, and it would have already likely been enough for the priestess to pick herself up, maybe even make a global portal towards the postman, and they could have potentially made a play. So that's probably one of the reasons why Ching opted to go for the 4th stop gate rather than the 1st stop.
Yeah, absolutely. There are probably a lot of events that led Ching to believe that they would choose that gate, but so right here we're gonna see 2 points for each team on their round 2.
This is looking really good for Legacy. They had a huge lead in that first round. Now coming up with that draw in the second, Moonlit is definitely more of a hunter-sided map. Something that Alien can definitely make work. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Alien drag in the win here too. But on the same time, we don't know what Fusion is gonna pull out. They might have some tricks up their sleeve as well.
Fusion's an amazing set of survivors, like I said, also new to the scene of ICL, but definitely have shown that they are very good survivors. They can play, and they are here to stay. Like, that's literally the proof that Fusion has shown us by defeating really good hunters. Like, I mean, Fusion did defeat plenty of people to get to where they are today in the positions of ICL. So we definitely should not count them. Just yeah, Legacy absolutely fighting Joanna. You're right. Legacy's fighting to the end of today. And the time at this point. Game sense, yeah, was really good. I think right there, if Ching had teleported to first stop gate, he definitely would have had a lot more options in terms of like maybe securing a win, because he did indeed stuff that priestess, which was nice. However, he couldn't unfortunately stuff the rescue overall, because if he did, that would be a win for him. But priestess is an amazing rescue. Postman throws a dog and just made that slowness. It just shows that the slowness right there was indeed the turnaround for that game. I do say Legacy's doing great. They're making my yes, but Ching's not having his best day, so few mistakes are important on the outcome too. Yeah, they are, unfortunately.
I mean, yeah. Ching was actually the one who had to show up late, so that might be the reason why Ching is not playing to the best of his ability. As well, yeah, he just got on. We don't know what's going on, obviously, but he might have had to rush in here to make it tilt this matchup. So maybe that's why. That would at least be my assumption. But still, though, Ching, regardless, is an amazing hunter. And I do have to give it to Fusions. Probably, or not Fusion, I'm sorry. I really get teams messed up. Legacy, think one of the strongest survivor teams in ICL, especially on the communication department. And like Chat said too, like plays such as the Postman, paying attention to the fact that Ching brings teleport could potentially go to that last stop gate, and deciding to just go towards the forwards gate, not really taking any risks where it's not really needed. That kind of stuff. Legacy overall, playing it safe, knowing where to do what to do, and just paying attention to what is going on and what the hunters, what their abilities are, and when they come off that cooldown.
Yeah, it's honestly due to extensive experience, because Legacy is one of the oldest teams of all these teams. Is one of the longest term players, as we saw. And this is evidence, honestly. Being able to know what to do in every situation. You definitely need. You want to be a pretty solid team for tournament gameplay, especially. So just having that knowledge right there will indeed put you on this spot. Put you on. Oh, bro.
Yes, so we are going to see the forward mechanic being locked in. Syrup, Psychologist, Mercenary bans, Sculptor ban from these survivors, which is more than fair, honestly, because Alien Sculptor scary. I cannot put it any differently. Alien,
the scariest I've seen on NAU, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree on that one. Alien was one of the first people to seriously pick up Sculptor back when she came out, and man, that has paid off. If someone on this server knows Sculptor, it's gotta be Alien. Of course, there are other amazing sculptors, definitely not gonna rule them out too, but Alien is definitely one of them.
For sure. Was the first to realize Sculptor's potential on our server. I remember his video about it, saying Sculptor would indeed be S tier in later seasons, and look at him, he was correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Alien, Alien, of course, is a very experienced hunter, has been playing for a long time on this server too, so generally he has gotten really good on his judgments on the hunters. Also said that Dreamwitch nerf would potentially bring Dreamwitch back down, and as we see, Dreamwitch is definitely getting picked less and less, and
You got a magician pick from Team Fusion right here.
is Juggy gonna play Magician?
I think
She's actually
Johnny's
gonna play Magician in the semifinals.
That's gonna make a huge difference to what we've seen so far. You'd think that semifinals people will be playing for the best of options, but it looks like Joggy right here showed that Magician will be his best option. So
Yeah, no, indeed. Magician in the semifinals. Joggy better get that kite, because he didn't really get an opportunity to shine with that Magician so far.
No, he was left on decoding, and looks like we're gonna see a BQ from Alien. Very interesting.
I
Because
mean,
they did
this
get a
is
tie.
really smart, actually, because all Alien needs to do, he needs that draw. He needs to get a draw
Oh, yeah.
at the very least. If
And who's
he
better at
gets up
doing
this
that than
round, the
DQ?
score will be tied. But if he draws this round, it gives more options for Legacy to win the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Alien using BQ. He is a very competent BQ as well. You've seen him play on several occasions, and we know that BQ is one of the best tie hunters, as apart from Ann. But we don't know if Alien. I bet Alien plays Ann. He plays everything.
Yeah, he does play Anne as well. But yeah, he's just gonna say, we're gonna draw this match out. We'll go into third round if needed, but he's just playing it safer, knowing he has a huge lead. So if it comes to the third round, Legacy is at a huge advantage because Fusion has a lot to make up point-wise.
Yeah, they do.
So this is strategically the smartest option, and in that light, I'm not quite surprised we're gonna see this Bloody Queen here, because if anything, Fusion needs to take this round, so having this ending in a draw is in all ways in Legacy's favor.
Should that happen, yeah, it would be a great position for a team.
And I mean, I think because Magician does counter Bloody Queen, Gravekeeper's also decent against Bloody Queen, does have those shuffles. Mechanic, we know it. Forward, also good survivor. So I think they might have been keeping that in mind too regarding those picks. And I'm very interested to see what this is going to play out, if this indeed is going to be a draw, or if one of the factions actually is going to be able to turn the game into their favor. Because I'm gonna be honest, as much as I love Bloody Queen, the gameplay is rather straightforward. There's still, of course, some really neat tricks you can do, but overall it's kind of like chase and then kind of camp. You can apply some pressure, like there is some tricks around the chair that you can do. You have several possibilities, but usually it's just mirror item, and then bling comes in, kind of like that.
Pretty much, yeah. You're not wrong there. You're not far off from the non. But anyway, we have Alien going towards Bridge Cipher, which is really good. He's trying to side out with his Eagle Eye. What Survivor should lay over here? An ideal find for him would indeed be the Mechanic or the Magician, because the forward obviously transitions her very well. And it's gonna flip. Not even gonna try to get in there. But it might work out.
Right into the Mechanic.
Yeah, right onto the Mechanic is a very good find for Alien right here. And Mechanics, be careful, because we do know that BQs love to use Hunt. How the heck did that hit? Well, a very lucky hit for Alien right here. And Mechanic just gonna have to transition to this ballot, but not having much. Alien dancing around this ballot. Mechanic just barely missing that ballot stun right there. Very bad area. Here comes a mirror. Here comes a death on the Mechanic. Yep, indeed, going down with bot in her inventory. Not even attempting a bot E-block right there was very unfortunate, because now Mechanic has the bot in her inventory. Is now a liability to this team.
No, the bot is actually out.
Huh?
The bot is actually out.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's at Bridge Cipher.
Oh, because my thing's blurry, so I thought it looked like it was full. But okay, cool. Bot's out. Never mind. Mechanic's doing good. Alright, carry on. My thing's blurry, y'all. I am sorry, but oh man,
it's alright. Ooh, Gravekeeper being forced into that shot to avoid the mirror hit, and now he has to make all that way over. Beautiful Alien. Job from Alien. Paying attention to where the rest were.
They didn't even have wanted order on them or anything.
No, he was just keeping track of the Cypher machines. Noticed that Cypher probably stopped wiggling, even though it was only for a short bit. So that's really good.
Here comes coming in for that rescue. D&D. We're gonna have the Gravekeeper go in for rescue right here, and Chariot! Gravekeeper can go off to stay full health here. It looks like Alien does not want that happening. Oh no!
That was really close.
That was really close, though, unfortunately. But it does waste a shovel. Mechanic does go down, regardless of the fact. Alien gets mega value out of that swing right there. Not only expiring the final shovel of the Gravekeeper, which he knows now it doesn't have, but now kills the Mechanic. Mechanic dead on chair as well. How
Oh,
about
is
guided
Forward
body?
gonna come in and do a thing? Yeah, he is.
He
But the
is a
drop
very
is
long
just
stun to
in
show
time.
for it. However, Alien on time after missing a swing drops the Mechanic, and Disrespect no longer gets value out of the stun. However, the stun was very good, even though regardless of the fact, unfortunately, will not get value out of it. Alien doing really good mind games at the slide right here. Misses the blink, gonna get punished for that, and unfortunately, not gonna be able to help the Mechanic in any sort of shape, form. But
Is Mechanic gonna struggle free here?
I don't
No,
think
it's
so.
not
She's right
gonna
by the
do so.
chair, yeah. She wasn't right by the chair, maybe.
Yeah, it did give the Mechanic some more time to work with her bot, so he's definitely not in vain, but now Forward is gonna be the next target, doesn't have any football left, so that definitely puts him in a risky spot. Gravekeeper out of items too, is injured as well. Is Alien gonna get a win out of this matchup? This Cypher is really close to being popped, but they still need half of that other Cypher that the Gravekeeper currently is decoding.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes the Magician getting chased, however. In a very bad spot, not in a really good advantageous position. There's going to be the Forward coming in for 2-story, but Alien's keeping a good watch on it. Here comes the Mirror. Can the Magician use Illusion? No, they cannot. They're going to use Illusion to bait out the Mirror Swing. But here comes the decoding from the Forward on 2-story. Very risky right now because Alien is just chilling right on top of it. Can opt to... Did he switch yet? To teleport?
Yeah, he switched to teleport.
Okay, so there's gonna be no abnormal here, which is really nice. But nice power drop of the Forward right there. Making sure it doesn't get hit right there because Forward does have faster power drop. Unfortunately, the Magician is in a very bad position right now. Can he use an illusion to escape? No, he cannot.
Beautiful prediction from Alien.
Yeah, unfortunately, Magician does get clapped by that swing right there. Alien reading Magician's movements.
Now
like
it's
an
up to
open book.
Disrespect in a sticky area. Is he gonna be able to out-kite this mirror? It
I
seems
think
to be
he
the
is. Very
case.
good job of Disrespect right there. And Eli rushing in for this last Cypher, the Gravekeeper, having a much. But here comes Alien sharing on this Cypher. However, they're just gonna need to rush it.
Ooh, it's
90%.
primed. It's primed.
Yes, it is. It's prime. We're gonna need the Forward to get ready for this rescue. Just rush in. Alien can try to manage both of them.
Forward was too far away.
No Berserker. Forward's too far away. Here comes the Mirror. Forward does get the rescue in time. This is good. He's probably gonna opt to pick up the Magician though. They need to go upstairs and outlast this Mirror. Both of them need to rush upstairs and outlast this Mirror swing. But unfortunately, Gravekeeper going into the basement.
Oh, basement. Really smart
Or
play
the
from
chair
Alien.
too. This is gonna be very bad for the survivors. So here comes the Magician.
Magician
Using
using
that
that
illusion to get back, dodges the hit. There's the pop. It's gotta go off. And the mirror is still up, unfortunately, but Alien must wait to get this mirror to go off underway. But will they even need it to kill the Gravekeeper? I don't think they will.
Ooh, did
Oh, the Gravekeeper barely dodges the hit.
missed. I mean, he
Is he
does
gonna use
still
his
have
mirror
the
here?
teleport available too. So if he downs the Gravekeeper, which is gonna happen here, is gonna be on second chair. Alien can teleport away.
Forward now on the gate right now has a wand to his name. Alien sharing on this chair because he knows that he can check to see if a survivor's here or not, conserving his teleport, which is a really good idea for him. So he's gonna chair Gravekeeper on this one, and there goes Forward. He's off. He's headed towards fourth stop. However, Alien still having teleport in his arsenal will be very dangerous. Alien's also usually known for giving really good mirrors across all the way third. Yep, very good mirror right there. Trap the Forward up there, and he's in a deadlock right now because Forward is slow vault too. Unfortunately, what a nice illusion! What a nice illusion by that Forward. And Alien is so confident that that rescue will not go underway because he decides not to teleport right there, waiting up for his next mirror. Mirror will kill this Forward right here. Yes,
And that's a 3-man elimination. Unless the Magician can pull a move. They do still
Magician
have
back
water
off
left on the
on the
detention, so it's gonna be really hard, but
I don't know. Alien is having trouble finding this magician right now.
Is Jogi? No, Jogi is sadly getting spotted out. Mirror is almost off cooldown. Magician doesn't have any wands to work with or any items or whatsoever, so it's
And
sadly
he will die to this
going to go
mirror right
down.
here. This is look like a 4-man elimination for Team Legacy right here. Does that mean they win against Fusion?
That means that Legacy wins and will face off in the finals tomorrow against WLR.
So Legacy has won, and now they're gonna go for their redemption against WLR, to see if they can reclaim their title. If they can reclaim the throne, they are getting a second chance to tango with Fafa and to tango with their survivors. And honestly, it is figured out.
I mean, honestly, of course, they still did a very good job, but Alien's Bloody Queen is just, once again, something else. Alien, definitely a great hunter. And Legacy, especially the Survivor team, they had a rough time against Fafa, but they really pulled themselves together against Ching. And this sadly does mean that Fusion will leave the stage. They will come in third place for the ICL second season, so definitely still really well done. Third place out of 10 participating teams is insanely well, especially at this level. So congrats to them for coming into third, but tomorrow will be Legacy versus WLR, the deciding matchup for the winner of the second season of ICL. So definitely tune in for that one. It is indeed gonna be Legacy's chance to redeem themselves against WLR, but at the same time, man, I cannot wait to see Fafa play for all those rounds. It's gonna be insane. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, for sure. Fafa is gonna bring out the stuffs. He's gonna be like, "Oh, so you came back to get the works again?" And gonna see if he can work up Legacy. But Legacy not being deterred, and their determination overall is what won them this. I'm very impressed with them being able to turn away from their loss and just be able to pull it back.
Exactly. So I better see all of you tomorrow here for the finals. I'll definitely be there, and I'm sure Miki will be there as well. Anyways, for today, whatever your time may be, I'm gonna say goodbye to y'all. Hope you have a great night, day, once again, whatever your time so may be. And until tomorrow.
Yes, everyone. I hope you guys have a fantastic and wonderful day. And we will see you guys tomorrow.